These are words. Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.
Woo! What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
Yeah.
Yes, and, forgive us here for kicking it off even later than our usual late night times.
Yeah, a lot of that's on me, yeah.
Got a little bit of a slow start, or maybe a little bit of too much of a fast start this morning.
Some of you guys,
if you know, you know.
If you guys in the after dark, you know, but I'm here, and I'm feeling better. So, we're ready to rock and roll on our Cowboys chat for tonight. A lot to discuss. Free agent frenzy, question mark, because NFL, yeah, Cowboys. Not so much.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that more.
There.
Let's open this thing up, though, and get it rolling here. But we got a lot of stuff to discuss. And, starting with the people that rep the boards here on the nightly this week at the top of the spots here. Multiple names. The main one you want to look at is at the sponsor of the week, because that's the brand man, Jeremy Bramlett, our sponsor of the week. One of the OGs, been here years and years and years and years. Much love to the man, Jeremy Bramlett, who snapped the big McLovin streak of 3 weeks in a row. McLovin, though, keeps that Cash App streak 5 in a row right now for him. When they go to 6 and beyond, we'll see. Jeremy Bramlett, he's got other boards here. He's got 12 points on the Stream Boss. He's the current champion, let's put it that way, of the membership gifting side of things. He gifted 10 last week at one shot, and that's an all-time record, actually. So appreciate you, Mr. Bramlett, the brand man, representing 3 out of the 4 parts of the board. But what about this week? Are things going to change? Of course, Jeremy's got 12 on there on that Stream Boss, and Jason Renfro has 1 in the gifting membership side. So he's got the lead, trying to take that crown away. But we did have a battle last night after dark, and it changed some things. I got to shout out SCO971, dropped a little love there in the Cash App. Marissa sparkling in first place right now with McLovin, who's also in first place. They're both tied. And Gloria up there in third place, right ahead of Eddie Lavelle, Mr. Markov Seppian rounding out the top 5. Like I said, Jason Renfro also dropping we'll call it a pre-stream $1.60 holler. In the Cash App. So, yes, appreciate all you guys. But right now, the tie on first place and the overall board is McLovin on the overall board and the Cash App board, tied neck and neck with Marissa Sparkle in the star level membership. So we got a tie at the top right now with McLovin and Marissa. Much love to you guys, both of you guys. Marissa is a star level member. McLovin's a Dolphin fan, but he's a star after dark member. So is Marissa. So appreciate you all. Since we are in the offseason, a lot of after dark stuff. But now we're talking about our Cowboys right now, and that's what matters. So again, much appreciation to everybody who dropped the love. We also got to shout out the ways of doing it, right? Because there's super chats, there's gifting memberships. You could jump into the membership like Tammy Soltis, jumped back into that yesterday. And And you also have the thanks button, which actually works whenever we have a video uploaded or a live stream posted. Any videos already done and posted, you can drop a thanks, and we'll put you on the board for that. But there's 4 of the ways you can affect not just the overall board, but the Cash App Kingdom, which McLovin is currently owning and living in. Dolphin fan extraordinaire. So how are the other 4 ways people can get in? Because right now, with Gloria, Marissa, McLovin, most of these people most of them dropping it through the PayPal side of things. Sco and others, Jason going through the Cash App. But there's a lot of different ways, right?
There's a few different ways of doing it, right? You have the Cash App, money sign MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like the Super Chat. And
as we get into the stream tonight and shout everybody out, first, we got to shout out those in the top shelf memberships. Like that star and over everything level membership. And then a little friendly reminder, the monthly jersey raffle at the end of this month of March, we will have everybody in the star level in our membership, everybody in the over everything level in our membership involved in a raffle for a jersey, really of any team, any sport, and the players available. But for Cowboys, we have a lot from the old school, new school, Cowboys Mosh, much love to him, sewn and stitched jerseys, different styles, sizes, all that stuff, women's, children's, men, of course. You get to pick. We don't give you the jersey. You pick the jersey you want out of the ones we have available. Right. And there's a lot. So the winner every month gets one of those sewn and stitched. But here's a little bonus, guys. You see it in green at the bottom. The weekly winners. Some weekly winners will get bonus entries, and sometimes we'll be stacking them. One which will always get the bonus entry will be our sponsor of the week, which is right. Jeremy Bramlett's already in this raffle, even if he's not a star or over everything member. So much love to Jeremy. Congrats. He's one of the first bonus members. The first bonus member we have ever had. And, of course, there'll be 4 of them at least in this upcoming raffle. So good luck to all. If Jeremy wins 4 weeks in a row, he gets 4 raffle entries, gives him the best chance to win the jersey. So, hey, just letting you know the way it's going to go from here on out, trying to make sure that you guys do get celebrated on these boards. And sometimes it'll be a gifting board. Sometimes it'll be the Cash App side. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Now, let's give the shout-outs not just to the people in the house, but first to the top shelf members here and the star and over everything. Who are they, baby?
Thank you very much, Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Andy Potch, Marissa Sparkle, Dwayne Broussard, The Lunatic, and over everything, Seabass.
Yeah, Seabass, who we had on the show the other night. What a great show it was.
Yes, and what perfect timing, too, just because, again,
with free agency hitting.
I just think of all the great points and discussion topics and players and moves and potential we talked about, even knowing, like you said, it was very unlikely, right? There. But, man, how many different ways do we have to talk about all the different varieties of free agents that there are out there, positions of need, and watch the Cowboys twiddle their thumbs? But we're kind of jumping ahead, of course.
Who's in the house?
Thank you very much, Drums and Cowboys. What's up? Yeah, I obviously Jerry had a very different idea of what all in means. Yeah, right. Yeah, so we're going all in on rebuilding.
We figured that out the last week. Remember, that was we kind of knew that was coming.
Rolando Rodriguez, much love from South Texas. We got bad intentions in the house. Hopefully with better intentions, right? 808 Cowboys 77. And by the way, it seems like a lot more people are starting to catch on, right? Because he said this is a soft rebuild and prelude to the real big rebuild next season. They will not extend Dak, and maybe Dak doesn't want that either. So that was kind of one of the points I had said before, in the sense of if the Cowboys are holding off on doing anything Dak related, it either means that they're trying to move on from Dak, or it means they still have question marks about Dak, or it just does not line up with the very smart strategy of when you keep a guy, the sooner you sign him, the cheaper he is. Anyway. So, and that goes for pretty much any kind of contractual situation, right? The sooner you do it, the better it tends to be. So, William Bernie, much love. Bruce got the toxic juice in the house. Hey, you guys know it. Trent Sieg, he's the Super Bowl difference maker now. Antoine Scott representing. McLovin, we'll catch you later. Yeah. All good, man. Michael Hooper, what's up? Hello and hi. Glad to have you here. Yes, wish it was under much better circumstances. Yeah. So, Dak Delusional fans, what's up? Karam Mawani, much love. Yeah, definitely time to have a little Cowboy embargo as far as the Jerry Jones official side of things.
We always
Luis Ortiz, much love. What to do with your Pollard jersey? Remember the good times. So
wait to see number 20 and then rip that the backing off.
Oh, cracking me up. Batten, much love to you as well. Let me see. Thomas Garrett, the Superior. Garrett. Yeah. Jason Renfro saying, who the heck is 44?
Our long snapper.
Apparently nobody knows.
Same guy we had for a couple of years. Yeah, I'll explain how he got confused.
Yeah, Meatball Ron saying MCF is asleep just like the clown show. Which I just thought that was funny. Cirilo Correa, what's up? Much love. We have Apocalyptic Cowboy, Asmodeus, even you. Real shit. I guess you're here to talk real football, right?
Hey, well, because the Steelers ain't real football. Exactly. Although
Devontae Alvarez, they're making
moves.
more real football moves than we are currently.
True.
So
that is true.
I think that's no. Got to shout out Seabass.
Yeah.
Much love.
Appreciate over everything, for rolling man.
Through. But yes, now officially, let me hand off the microphone to Mr. MCF and let's start talking about again all the things we have to discuss.
Yeah. Again, starting with a little bit of. We'll start with a little bit of Cowboy, not Cowboy news. How's that? Scorpio, a member here already in the Navy Blue crew, dropped his March shout out here, his March comment. What did the man say?
I got the worst case of the flu. Just wanted to say I missed y'all in the chat and shout out to everyone in my bro Snug X.
In the house.
Much love, Scorpio. First of all, hope you recover sooner rather than later. The flu is still, unfortunately, working its way around, even though it's March. So stay safe. Hope you recover ASAP.
Yes.
So, there's the Cowboys need you, right, Scorpio? Oh, but thank you so much. And yeah, he's been repping it as a member for 8 months.
Ooh.
Shout out to you, Scorpio.
Yeah, I think he's been gifted. If you're here a lot, you get a gift. The gifts show up. You get one of the. You're on the top of the line there. So he's been gifting his way through here right into the season. Scorpio always repping that star for everything, but he's also jumped in there multiple times in the past. Appreciate you, and he provides a lot of other content you guys don't even know about. So much love to Scorpio, of course. Appreciate you.
Yes,
Go
he's really
Cowboys.
in tune with what our coaches and front office think. Right?
Yeah. He knows about our coaches there. A head coach. He knows about our Jerry Jones. So. We'll see if Steven comes out soon. I don't know. But anyways, let me get rolling here, guys. Which is not really this is not really Cowboy news. This is NFL news, but politics, right? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has recently approached the Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers and Jesse the Body Ventura about serving as his running mate as an independent presidential candidate or vice president on his independent ticket. And both have said they're interested. In fact, I know for Aaron Rodgers, they've talked pretty continuously for the last month, and he's warming up to the idea. So you might see Aaron Rodgers, who knows, maybe preparing for a vice presidential run. I will never vote for Robert F. Kennedy. He's crazy. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's nuts, but either way.
Even I have to admit, I didn't have Aaron Rodgers vice president on my 2024 bingo card. So
yeah, but again, if he's Looney Tunes similarly to Aaron Rodgers, so it makes sense they're on the same ticket. Anyways, now on a side note, now we dive into the Cowboys, and when it comes to the Cowboys, we're going to start with Dak Prescott. Why? Because talking about that sexual harassment, assault situation, sexual assault supposedly. Dak's cutting it off before it even starts, and he's putting the woman basically, suing her for defamation and much more. But the lawyer for the woman accusing of Dak for sexual assault was on 105.3 The Fan today. And one of the things he kind of brought up, he said he's kind of pushing this. He said, quote, his client was raped by Mr. Prescott. I mean, that was a big words to say there when we know this is a...
that's a serious allegation. Yeah. And, if it's true, obviously it's really horrible. If it's not true, you're ruining a man's reputation. Right.
And it's something that hasn't been discussed. She never had an issue with this. 7 years ago when this happened, when they had sex. So, again, again, he also said that, hey, you know what? Both... the lawyer said both Dak and his defendant admitted consensual sex occurred. Okay. What does that mean? So Dak admitted that consensual sex happened. So they're going to try to paint it as they had sex, and Dak is now, Dak's looking at this as, like Dak did. He's saying it was consensual rape, but she said it's not. That's what they're trying to turn this into, at least through her attorney. So.
We might want to reconsider your word choice there, baby. You accidentally slipped and said consensual rape.
Okay. I said consensual.
It's okay.
Sorry. Consensual sex was admitted by Dak, and the lawyer is trying to use that against Dak to say, hey, look, you had consensual sex, but she considered it rape. Mm-hmm. So let me make sure that's what they're trying to push the narrative, which, again, in her letter to Dak Prescott, basically admits that she will not tell anyone these lies if he pays her $100 million. And he said, fuck you, and he took her to
Wonderful.
court. So there you go. So now that's happened, guys. And by the way, the NFL officials right now, they're going to protect that shield. They're saying right now that they are aware of this news report going on regarding Dak and these allegations, but they will decline comment for now. So, you know how that goes. Suspensions, you never know. But right now, Dak is completely in the innocent here and trying to prove that she's the guilty one. Anyways, moving on from that topic, just to let you know, I guess you get some draft news here, I guess, real quick before we get into the free agent stuff. It was interesting to see that, again, I'll show you the draft picks, our draft picks that we have this year, but there's some pro days going on, and our Cowboy staff was going to a couple of these. Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Sooners. Cowboys sent out a bunch of offensive line staff to Oklahoma for their pro day. Who are the guys on the offensive line that are their top targets, you can say, for any team in Oklahoma? You got offensive lineman Bucky Irvin, and of course Oklahoma's Tyler Guyton, who was a little bit subpar in his in his numbers there when it came to the combine. But these are the two top guys the Cowboys will be looking at today, or they looked at today at Oklahoma's pro day. Now, we also had guys, wide receiver coaches, going to the South Carolina pro day. The main guy we're looking at there is Xavier Legette, wide receiver. So those are the names the Cowboys are looking at when it comes to doing their scouting right now at these these college pro days. So that's a quick. Any quick comments on these things, whether it's Dak, whether it's the college guys that the Cowboys are kind of scouting right now in the pro days. Any quick comments on that before we dive into the free agency side of things, maybe?
So Matt Batten said, she's just trying to defame Dak's character. It's sad. Shame on her. Dak's a great guy. Stand up for yourself, Dak, which is exactly what he's doing by, hitting back and countersuing, obviously, and trying to keep that there. Now, William Brady does bring up an excellent point, though. Haven't really heard much about this in the media at all, which is very surprising considering we're talking about the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. So it does make me wonder if maybe Jerry isn't pulling a few behind-the-scenes strings just to maybe keep some of this from making some of the bigger rounds of news, especially since at least by the time that we all found out about it, remember, we're finding out about it when Dak is filing his counter suit. So already it kind of lets you know, I don't want to say the validity of the claims either, but or no, he's suing her back, right?
He's not suing. I'm not sure. I think she was threatening to sue him in court, or criminally, or
and then he threatened to sue her back for defamation.
The reason we're finding out is because he put this in the court system and people found out about it.
Yeah,
I don't think she had it on anything yet. He's the one that jumped the gun. He's the one jumping on this first.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So exactly, Dak is basically like, hey, I'm going to clear my name before this stuff starts to hit the media and does all this. So maybe it could be, like I said, a man who did something wrong with lots of money, power, and influence, trying to make sure that he stays on top of it and gets on top of it. But like we said, Dak might be a hoe. Like, okay, so is 99.9% of these other NFL players and things like that, or honestly athletes. So just saying, like, he's not special because he was around a few blocks or so.
Again,
and it seems really out of his character to hear something like this. So not surprised he's fighting it, being proactive about it.
Yeah, as he should.
So.
Anything on the rookies, or are we good to go to keep moving here?
No, keep rolling.
All right. So now we get into the free agent frenzy. Yes. And Jerry and company, what are they up to? This clown show of front office people. Well, let me just give you a quick little background on something. When it comes to the division, since 2021, after COVID, here's how much each team in the division spent on free agents during the offseason. Free agents now, right? And then we're going to give you the record. 2021, the Giants spent $157 million. They were 4-13. Washington spent $50 million, 7-10. The Cowboys spent $39 million, 12-5. The Eagles 25. I'm sorry, the Cowboys spent $39 million. They were 12-5. The Eagles spent $25 million and were 9-8. So we didn't have to spend that much to be 12-5, but we had more talent. Let's just say at the time, 2022, the Eagles spent $92 million plus, made the Super Bowl, 14-3 that year. Giants were next, $54 million plus, 9-7-1. The Cowboys $44.9 million, 12-5, and Washington $34.4 million, 8-8. They barely spent. They're 8-8 average. And last year, The Eagles spent $101.62 million, 11-6 record. The Giants spent $90 million, $90.31 million, 6-11 for the Giants last year. Not very good. Washington spent $69 million plus, 4-13. The Cowboys, $48.72 million. We were 12-5 and got bounced in the first round. But the Cowboys have maintained basically 12 wins the last 3 years, despite being third or fourth in spending in the division. Because we kept the players, but now we're losing players. Right now we're starting to see players leave, the depth and starters.
Yeah,
so is that going to affect
too many
us?
Players now to the point where we do have to try to make more active moves to fill those holes that they've been left behind.
Yeah. So when it comes to Jerry and free agency, and let's get it past Jerry, because the guy kind of running the show, the guys running the show let's go to Clown Show Central here, because that's really who's touching Stephen Jones is much more involved. So when we look at these two guys, the Cowboys entered NFL free agency, guys, with $2.2 million. Saying we can't spend the money. Which I told you guys they would do this. It's you're handcuffing yourself. It's prohibiting any kind of signings or movement from the Cowboys. But if they wanted to, the last 3 weeks we've been talking about this, the Cowboys sat on their hands. If they wanted to, they could restructure Trayvon Diggs and we get $8 million. Boom. Now you got 10 plus million. You can get someone, right? Restructure a guy like Terrence Steele, you get $5 million, which I'm not the craziest person about that, but it's not that much money that you're going to be pushing forward, and you're getting a lot now. $5 million, now you're at past $15 million per year. Donovan Wilson, hell, I'd do that. $3 million you get this year if you restructure him. Those three guys, just in restructuring. I mean, right there you get almost $20 million. When you add the 2.2 and all these contracts, that's without touching Dak, no extension for CD. You guys feel me? $20 million is more than enough to play a little bit with. You know you're going to get the Gallup money back on June 1st for the rookies and all that stuff. So, again, Gallup, the $9.5 million, that's for the rookies. So that's a June 1st cut. We know that's coming. When you add that in there, you got $25 million plus in there with the Gallup coming in June 1st.
Yeah.
But let's forget about the June 1st and let's just bring it down to like $15 million, okay? You extend or just restructure, and it's going to happen before it's the 17th of March, but the Cowboys want to make sure they hold the line right now looking like they have no money to spend when they can easily hit the restructure button. Not Dak.
People, so they want to pretend to be poor, basically?
Yes. They're pretending to have no money to spend here. But here's the thing, baby. There's some people, there's fans out there that believe because Patrick Mahomes today restructured his contract and opened up $21 million on the cap for the Chiefs, that Dak won't do that for his team. That's what a lot of dumb fans believe. And you believe that, yes,
again,
you're dumb.
Because those people have already made up their mind that somehow Dak Prescott is
I don't even think it's that.
The team's money or
I don't even think I can't believe it's that. I think it's more than just the hate. It's the fact that they don't know the fucking way shit works. They just don't know. They're ignorant. Dumb about this. So, again, it's not, just so you know why I'm saying this, guys, Dak does not have anything to do with this. It's all up to the franchise, to the organization, to the owners, the GM. That's who it's up to when they hit a restructure button and he goes, whoop, and you got $20 million, boom, like that. The Cowboys could have $25 million if they restructure Dak's contract today, yesterday, last week. And it doesn't hurt anything. You can still sign him extension. The Cowboys didn't do that because they wanted to show they had no money. Mm-hmm. And now some people believe it's Dak's fault. I don't even know how you can think that way, but I guess that's what they're saying. So if you extend or restructure Dak, you're going to get at least $25 million. I just said we had 15. You got like $35 million plus to play with if you restructure Dak Prescott. Do these other moves I said, like Diggs, Steele, and Wilson's restructures. And then on top of that, you cut LVE, that's $2.5 million back. You know, you're going to make a couple other cuts and moves and restructures that you can do possibly if you wanted to. Extending CeeDee Lamb is another $13 million. So, guys, when you finish in all set, it's between $50 to $55 million the Cowboys truly have open. That's without Gallup. That's for Gallup. That's the rookie money. Without Gallup, about $50 million we can open up easily. But the Cowboys have $2.2 million opened on purpose, purposely. So that's the frustration I think we all feel when it comes to the way these dumb mother effers run this team, this organization. I don't know how you feel about that, baby, but I don't know. That's very
but the Louis
discouraging.
Ortiz is saying, Tom Brady didn't get to where he got by being greedy. So
again, his wife made much more than he made, guys. He was making money off the Patriots by having a facility that all the Patriot players used, and the Patriots paid for that. So you guys are looking at that completely, incorrectly. It's not about. There's no quarterback in the NFL but Tom Brady that ever did something like that. Check me. Do the check on that, guys. Please check on that. Don't go for the low-hanging fruit because you're gonna be wrong. Nothing to do with Dak being greedy or not. Every quarterback's gonna get what they deserve. Brady didn't have to. He could rest on his laurels because he already made a bunch of money, and he had a wife that was making much more than him. He didn't have to go for it all. And again, I got to reiterate, the Patriots literally had they were paying, I don't know how many millions and millions of dollars to use Brady's practice facility. So I'm just saying, like, it's a whole different complete situation. And Tom Brady, take him out of the mix. Give me any other quarterback, though, that gave a team a hometown discount because he wanted to be nice so we can sign new players. And I'm going to show you that there's probably none out there. That's all. I'm going to leave it at that.
Bad in Texas said Jerry Jones told Dak to his face that his last contract he overpaid him. So he really doesn't want to pay him now.
Hey, that's up to Jerry Jones, Steven. But the point I'm trying to say is why you back yourself up to a corner where you're not going to use Trey Lance. Yep. He sucks. You're not going to use Cooper Rush. He sucks. So we're just going to lose games.
Yeah, forget the small rebuild we talked about. We're obviously just
that's a huge rebuild,
starting from the ground up.
And that is all on the way the Joneses handled the contract of Dak Prescott from the beginning. Not Dak's fault.
Another, let's say, possible interpretation of all in, at least for Jerry, maybe that is what all in means in Jerry's mind, like not doing a full rebuild, not blowing up the entire team. You get what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. Like, we're all in with the guys that we have right now. We're all in with Dak for this year. We're all in for... I'm trying to think about it just because, again, obviously...
All in, except for...
What was he thinking when he said that? Probably nothing. Probably just the typical spouting off Jerryism. But let's be real. He is not stupid. Those words, there's a reason that
he used them.
Kind of fired up the fan base. We all kind of started looking like, okay, what does all in mean? Expecting that feeling of waiting for something to happen and then continuously nothing happened.
Baby, no, it wasn't just that because a week ago we heard from Stephen and Jerry saying what all in was for them, and it was not an all in. We knew this already, baby.
Yeah, the
we knew
description by Stephen Jones was basically exactly what we've already done the last few years.
Exactly.
Like,
so
it did not.
And going all in with our guys, baby. Now, what does it mean? As we get to the free agency side of things, we going in with our guys. What are you telling me that means? Because we have 16 guys that are free agents, and we usually sign some of these guys back. The front office hasn't done anything. Listen, on offense, Tony Pollard already gone. Tyron Smith still out there. Tyler Biadasz gone. Chuma Edoga out there. Rico Dowdle still out there. Sean McEwen at tight end out there. Stephon Gilmore still out there. Armstrong gone. Jonathan Hankins still out there. J-Ron Kearse is still out there. Jordan Lewis is still out there. Fowler, we'll talk about him, but he's gone. Neville Gallimore out there. Noah Igbenogany still out there. CJ Goodwin out there. And Trent Sieg was also a Cowboy free agent. And we didn't even sign him before. Like he's a guy we could have signed a week ago, before even this free agency even hit, right? The Cowboys don't care. They're just taking their time. So, the Cowboys yesterday, guys, were not the only team to not agree to a deal with one of their own free agents. Yesterday, we did not sign any free agents out of our team or on our team. All right? There were other teams that did. Again, I'm sorry. Let me say we were not. We were the only team that did not sign one of our own guys or a guy off another team. We're the only team that didn't do that.
Who did nothing.
We're the only team in the NFL yesterday that did zero. Literally zero, guys. So, again, we didn't get a deal with someone on the outside. We didn't get a deal with one of our own free agents in this first day of negotiation period yesterday. Tampering. Day one tampering. Today's day two tampering. But that day one lack of tampering, the Cowboys Super Bowl odds went from 1,400 to 1 to 1,700 to 1. We literally went down 300 to 1 odds. Because, and I don't really care about the odds, it just shows you that it makes a difference in the way that, the way you run your organization.
Yeah.
The way. So 5 teams have not, that's just on your own or away. Everybody else signed at least one of their own, guys. We didn't sign anyone yesterday. 5 teams have not, since yesterday, did not sign a single outside free agent. The Cowboys are one of them, of course. We didn't sign one of our own either. But the Saints, the Seahawks, the Colts, and the Bucks, they signed their own guys, but they didn't sign anybody off of their team. But they signed guys like, Mike Evans, you know what I'm saying, and Baker Mayfield, and they got their, a big name player.
Yeah.
We didn't sign anyone yesterday on our own Colts got their own. Their nose tackle. The Seahawks got their own. The Saints got their own. The Cowboys didn't get anybody of their own and didn't get anybody out in the free agent world. So we, once again, Jerry Jones style, shit the bed on vacation, it feels like. So today, new day. Any new results? Yes. We signed somebody. Yay. Who did the Cowboys sign? A receiver, a quarterback, defensive player? Did we extend Dak? What happened? What did we do? Well, did we get someone from another team? Is he a new player? No. So who we got? We got ourselves a depth signing, Jordan Lewis back in here, or did we get maybe we bring back Tyron Smith? No. And no offense to this man because he did fantastic last year, but you see him here with the hat over his heart, number 44. Yeah, our long snapper re-signed to the Cowboys. That's the only move the Cowboys made today. Cowboys are on the board with the signing our own re-signing long snapper Trent Sieg, number 44. And listen,
special team.
I love it, baby. I love the special team side of things. Listen, special teams obviously are special. He rejoins Brandon Aubrey. He rejoins Brian Anger. Remember, he's snapping to Brian Anger's hands. He's snapping to Brian Anger's hand and to hold the kick and extra points and field goals. He's the snapper, and he didn't fuck up once last year. So Trent Sieg was fantastic. He's a guy I called since last year in the offseason. I said, that's the free agent I want to bring in here. And at long snapper. And we brought him in. He's been fantastic, and we got him back. So the Cowboys listen to MCF. They learn a little bit when they do that. So, again, Cowboys re-signing Trent Sieg. Here's the deal, guys. A 1 year, $1.292 million deal breaking the bank. We're breaking that bank. Went from $2.2 million to $1 million. $1 million left on the cap, and we got Trent Sieg. Hell yeah. So, again,
I'm ready for the season.
Celebration time. $1.152 million of that is guaranteed. So he got a 1 year minimum salary benefit contract with some of his base salary guaranteed. That's the way the Cowboys started off free agency on day 2 of tampering day. That is it. That is that. We got Trent Sieg, which I love him. He's great. Well, again, that keeps our special teams together great. I mean, we might cut Brian Anger. Who knows, right?
It was a good move. It was a necessary move. But let's be real. There are other moves that we were
still hoping
for.
Running backs,
and that
linebackers.
You figure would be a higher priority, but maybe the simplicity of this deal is what pushed it forward through, which just really it makes me think that they called him yesterday.
You can make this guys, you can make this deal 2 weeks from now. You can make this deal in the middle of June. That's my point. That's all I'm saying. No one's gonna sign this. This is not an extreme gotta sign this guy up right now. Like you said, there's no real push to get this done now. Someone's gonna sign him over us. So this is the deal the Cowboys been working on since free agency's been brewing for 3 weeks. This is the guy they got to deal with, and they couldn't even get it before you hit free agency. This is the kind of deal you either do before you get in free agency, or you do after free agency, after the draft. Let's just be real. So I love Trent Sieg, but he, again, I'm gonna be honest about this. It was funny to me though, because if you remember our former, who was our former long snapper? I know he was friends with what's his name, with Bones from the Rams. McCurley? No, LP Ladosura retired, and then we brought in the guy from the Rams. Yeah, but when you get a chance, look him up for me. But here's the reason I'm bringing him up, because through all the news sources out there, a lot of news sources were putting up another number 44, the long snapper, in 2022, in 2021, I think. Both those years, we had again, he had red hair, he looked like a Viking, and they kept posting that picture today when they said the Cowboys made a move. So, they said, but the Cowboys finally re-signing long snapper Trent Sieg, and they have our last long snapper before Trent Sieg. And, this was over multiple different...
McQuaid?
Yes. What's his first name?
Jake McQuaid.
They got him confused with Jake McQuaid. Jake McQuaid wore 44 as well. Jake McQuaid, his picture was the one that was put up. So poor Trent Sieg had to go around. And he said, quote, hey, this picture isn't me. And he went to all these different places on Twitter saying, This picture isn't me. I feel bad for Trent
I
Z.
am gonna be real. Mr. MCF showed me the picture earlier, and I'm like, okay, what's the problem?
same
Where's
guy.
I just assumed he grew his beard out. So, you know.
So Trent Sieg eventually posted a picture of himself, which you see him there, and of course Jake McQuaid. How they do look similar. He just said, "quote quick question out of curiosity," and he's just basically asking, "Do we really look the same?" Kinda,
Yes.
a little bit. Gonna be honest. So either way, I thought that was funny. That's the only thing we're laughing about here, and we got a good long snapper. That's great, but my goodness, could the Cowboys fuck us up anymore?
Pain, right?
We know how to. We of course we do. We got you. We strengthened special teams, baby. Priority number
like I
one.
said, I'm happy, of course.
I know you are. You're loving it. But what about other places on defense? Did we make any moves? Yeah, we made a move. We lost somebody. Dante Fowler. And if you see a lot of W's, it ain't for wins. It's probably for losses. This is for the Washington Commanders. Because Dante Fowler, guys, he left the Cowboys. Number 56 is now out of here. Free agent pass rusher Dante Fowler Jr. signing with the Washington Commanders. Dan Quinn continues to bolster the depth on his defensive line. Of course, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler. Those are our backup pass rushers behind DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons. And, of course, now Sam Williams. So he went with our depth and took them from us, and he's using them there. As far as the money he got paid, I did not see the numbers on that, and I would like to, hopefully see that soon on Fowler. So I'm not sure how much Fowler got with Washington. I'm sure it was. I can't imagine it was as overpaid as Armstrong was, which was what 30. It was like $34 million for 3 years. That's a lot of money. What, $11-12 million? Maybe up to $39 million for him. I don't know. It was crazy numbers for Armstrong. Fowler had to get a little bit less than that. But either way, he can have them. New Commanders coach Dan Quinn had coached Dante Fowler in the past. Remember that, guys. In college, the Florida Gators. He also coached them when he was in Atlanta, Dante Fowler. And, of course, coached them in Dallas.
Yeah,
so
I just double checked
no numbers,
here.
right?
No numbers yet, just the fact that he's apparently reuniting with...
Yeah. So, again, he's now back reuniting, and not just knew him from Florida, knew him in Atlanta, knew him in Dallas, now knew him in Washington. So Fowler is fully on the Cowboys. And then you can see our list right there, guys. Anything big there? I mean, we lost Pollard, Armstrong, Biotish, and Fowler. We re-signed a practice squad guy, Carl Davis, last week, and we re-signed our long snapper, our own guys, no new additions. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. But I do have a couple important moves that did happen in free agency.
Okay.
What is the chat saying about these current Cowboy moves, these blockbuster moves the Cowboys are making?
Bad Intention said the Washington Commanders and the Eagles are going to have plenty of intel.
That's true. They're collecting up our players or former players. Yeah, they're stacking them.
So, let me see. Rolling back here. Oh, and yeah, I'll let you guys argue back and forth regarding the intricacies of our legal system. But yes, guys, the reason we're hearing about this now is because Dak is the one who
brought it to light.
Is suing her for
defamation.
Attempted defamation.
Yeah.
Or defamation.
Yeah, well, for extortion. Because
Yeah.
she tried to extort him and he then sued her. It wasn't a counter-sue. I just want to make sure it's clear.
So, no, back to you. All good.
So we all caught up on the free agent stuff because, Cowboys, there's nothing really to talk about. I mean, Trent Zieg, long snapper, yippee-ki-yay. And then we lost Fowler. Okay, we knew that was going to happen. That's the day in Dallas.
Hey, Super Bowl or bust.
Hey, all in. All in for the Cowboys. What bullshit. But
all
again,
into the kiddie pool.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, it's not a surprise. The bigger surprise is the Cowboys are not signing our own guys even. That's, I guess, the bigger surprise. That's when you said we're going all in on our guys. What guys? The guys that we're going to have left? The skeleton of the team? I mean, look, all I know is this. I look around the NFL. I look at different positions I kind of keep an eye on and spots that I know that we need to fill in, have some depth, have some starters. So here's some before we get to the whole list of things, let me get to the, I'd say, more Cowboy relevant moves that were made today. Defensive tackle. All right? The big name that was signed today in my mind that I liked, I mentioned him yesterday. Defensive tackle Ashawn Robinson. He is now off the board. He is with the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers signed him to a 3-year, $22.5 million deal. So 3 years, $22.5 million. I'm just trying to get it in my head. It's like $7.5 million a year. outside of the Cowboys' realm of possibility when it comes to paying a good
7.5.
Yeah, a good defensive nose tackle. It's going to stop the run. Sean Robinson is that guy. I talked about him in previous years. Cowboys said $7.5 is way too much for that position, and the Cowboys didn't even look at him. So again, he was with the Giants. He was with the Rams, former Rams. Again, he's reuniting with Ejiro Evero, who's over there as the defensive coordinator. He pushed for him and with the Panthers to pick him up. So Sean Robinson, a solid defensive tackle now, inside nose tackle, run stopper off the board in Carolina. The Panthers, not the Panthers. They're moving on from the Panthers. The Patriots, another P team. Patriots, here's a crazy number. I don't know if you heard about this, but the Patriots are signing. They're re-signing Josh Uche. Josh Uche is one of their best pass rushers, one of the better pass. When we were talking about him when we played them earlier in the year, they're re-signing him to a $3 million deal.
That's it?
$3 million with incentives that can get it up to $8 million.
That still seems very economical.
When I saw that, I'm like, they're taking a starting pass rusher, their main pass rusher, and they're getting him for $3 million. He gets enough incentives and sacks or whatever, he can get up to $8 million. What's up? I searched on this, guys. He had several offers, including one offer that was worth $15 million over 2 years. That's $7.5 million a year, guaranteed there. $11 million was fully guaranteed in that deal. But his heart was in New England. He opted to return for 1 year, but for less money. Only getting that 1 year, $3 million deal with the upside of $8 million. So he can get $8 million. He would have been almost guaranteed $7.5 instead of $3 only now.
Yeah.
You don't see these things very often. We talk about getting team deals. There's one of the few team deals you'll ever fucking see in the NFL. And Uche is a great guy, I guess you can say. I don't know what his reasoning was, but he likes New England. He likes what he's doing there, and he wants to build on that. A 1 year deal, $3 million, upside to $8 million. A rare time a player makes the final call and does not chase the money. You think Dak's going to do it because he's a good guy? Nobody, Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes, none of these guys do it because they're going to get what they're worth fully, and that's it. That's the way it goes. This is a very rare situation. Josh Uche, I commend him for doing that, even though it might be crazy. He might get hurt. No one's going to care for that. And then he loses all that money. And then everyone's like, well, he got hurt. You don't think about the fact that this guy could have had, $15 million, 11 guaranteed. Instead, he might get 3 only, for all we know. Right?
Yeah.
So, and another let's go pass rusher here. This is a name that was floating around Cowboy land here. Daniel Hunter, which I said there's no way the Cowboys going to pay the money it's going to take to bring him in. But you know who did? The other team in Texas. The Houston Texans. Daniel Hunter went to the Houston Texans on a 2-year deal, $49 million. So you're looking at basically $24.5 million a year average. Do you think the Cowboys are going to pay that for Daniel Hunter? Nope. So the deal has a max volume of 51. So I guess he could get an extra $1 million in each year of an incentive. So he can top it off at $51 million. I got to give big time shout out props. I don't know if Eastside's in the house.
Yes, he is.
Because I got to give him props because they're doing good shit. We're not. Like this is where one of the few times the Texans are actually doing better shit than the Cowboys. We're still better than them, but they're doing better shit than the Cowboys right now. Look at this defensive core they are assembling in Houston. Will Anderson Jr., Daniel Hunter, those are the edge rushers. The Nico Autry, they signed him yesterday. Malik Collins, former Cowboy, in the inside there. Linebackers, well, they got Christian Harris, but they took one of our guys, Azeez Al-Shaair. They signed him yesterday. And then you go to cornerbacks, Derek Stingley Jr., Jeff Okudah. This is another Okudah. I talked about him. He's just injury prone. They got DeMeco Ryans, of course, as the head coach, and he's here. He's in Houston. The fact that he's there, he's bringing in a lot of these former guys that he helped coach and stuff like this. So yeah, Daniel Hunter, DeNico Autry, Azeez Al-Shaair, who was coached by Ryans in San Francisco. Jeff Okudah is, if he stays healthy, he's a good pickup. Just saying that the Texans, they're doing stuff. I got to give them credit. Credit to the Texans and the Eastside Herald, even if the Cowboys will beat them if we play them this year. But, I got to give them a little bit of props on that side of things. Moving on from the defensive line, let's go to linebacker because that's the position I'm looking at for our Cowboys. Nose tackle, I told you what happened. Cowboys not even looking there. But at linebacker, we've got to be looking. We got no one left there, right? So right now, Patrick Queen was like the number one hot player out there. He got signed today.
Okay.
And we said yesterday it might be the Seahawks, but I said I didn't hear any numbers yet on that. I was not sure. Today we know where he went, and it was not Seattle. It was another S team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are making moves. I got to give real shit some love here, too, because they got Russell Wilson on a very cheap deal, and now they got Patrick Queen. Not a cheap deal, but an off-ball linebacker that plays, one of the top guys out there, signing with the Steelers, all right? It's a 3-year, $41 million deal. So, again, when you're looking at this in this way here, you're looking at about what? Maybe $14, $15 million a year for Patrick Queen. Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones, there was no fucking way they were going to pay anyone that money. So, Patrick Queen, like I said, when everyone was talking about picking him up, I said, forget about it. It ain't happening.
Yeah, let it go.
Steelers got him, and it's a done deal. Now, another guy, listen, I'm bringing these names because these are guys I talked about. I liked Levante David from the Buccaneers. All right? Linebacker out there. The Bucs are re-signing Levante David. They're keeping him back in Tampa. Sources are saying that they agreed to terms with Levante David getting a 1-year deal worth up to $10 million. The crazy thing about this is, baby, $10 million is exactly what I said he'd be costing, and he's costing.
You nailed that one right on the head.
With incentives and everything, topping out at $10 million for him, which is not necessarily a bad deal. The base value is around $9 million for Levante David, so he's off the board. Linebacker gone. Another linebacker, some of you guys are talking about, Josie Jewell from the Broncos, signed a 3-year, $22.75 million deal, including a $7 million signing bonus with the Carolina Panthers. They're racking up some defensive players over there in Carolina. The key here, though, is what? We're looking at over $7 million a year? Mm-hmm. $7.5 million a year. I just don't know. I think that would have been a little bit out the range for a Josie Jewell for the Cowboys at linebacker. Not the kind of guy I would say throw in there. But here's the one guy we know him from the Super Bowl, Willie Gay. He's a Kansas City Chiefs linebacker who's off-ball linebacker. He's a guy that we could have used here, a little undersized, I think, but the guy is still a very solid linebacker. He was signed by the Saints today. Do you know how much the Saints signed him to a 1-year deal? The max, $5 million. A linebacker with a max of $5 million, that puts on my senses saying we should have made a move at that. That's where the Cowboys are on vacation right now. And MIA, Jerry and company. So when I see a deal like that going down, that he probably got $3 or $4 million, and then he gets incentives up to $5 million, top out at $5 million, a linebacker like Willie Gay from the Chiefs, I think it's a great move, a great steal from the Saints. And the Cowboys nowhere to be found. Nowhere involved at all, to a position where we have no LV. Damone Clark is a certain kind of guy. Marquise Bell's a safety. Overshown's coming back from a torn ACL. Rookie, never played a snap. That's our linebacking core. We're not even looking at Willie Gay for $5 million. That's the frustration. Now, I'm going to throw in a guy in there, and Justin Simmons, who I think is still floating around there as a safety out right now. He's still floating around. It's a guy's impossible. The Cowboys are not looking at him at all. Tennessee Titans, though, are targeting him as they move off the linebackers into the defensive backfield and safeties. Tennessee Titans are looking at Justin Simmons only because they were trying to get C.J. Gardner-Johnson. But that move was done by the Eagles today. They bring back, C.J. Gardner-Johnson back to Philly now, after leaving, I think, the Saints again, right? I'm not sure. Anyways, the point is, those are the big names there that on the defensive side that were able to be gotten today. And most of them, I agree, you let them go. But there's a couple there that, my goodness, I mean, they were right in our price range. The Cowboys let this defensive tackle go. They let this linebacker go. I don't know what to say. I mean, there's not many guys left. Now, on offense, as we're kind of wrapping this up here on the offensive side, before I go through all the other non-as-important moves, let me go through the important moves at running back today. What do you think about these deals, baby? Because yesterday we know Zach Moss was signed to the he signed with the Bengals yesterday.
I almost said the Vikings.
No, I'm sorry, Zach. Yeah, he did sign with the Bengals on a 2-year, $8 million deal, $4 million a year. All right.
All right.
That we know the Cowboys were involved in those discussions. It was out of their price range, is what they said. So we know it's disgusting, but the Cowboys' price range is under $4 million a year for a running back. So this gives you an idea of the price range the Cowboys are truly entertaining. $4 million is the tops. Like, they got to be really good, And, will Derrick Henry be that guy? There's other guys floating around. Well, we know that we know Derrick Henry's off the board. I'll explain in a minute. But other running backs. And again, Tony Pollard's the guy the Cowboys liked. Remember when they asked him about, there was some sources out there talking about what the Cowboy front office was saying. And this I'm paraphrasing here. But basically, with running back, Tony Pollard gone, a source from the Cowboys said, we are looking at any player that can improve us in a price range that we can afford. We have talked to any guys who have called and listened to whatever their wishes or their ranges are. So the Cowboys are not making calls. They're taking calls, waiting for the call. If your running back is interested with joining the Cowboys have to know how much you want. And then we'll see if we respond to you. That's the way the Cowboys are doing business right now. And that's not good. I don't think that's a good bit. When you got to that's the opposite of aggressive. That's lackadaisical. That's
we'll
fucking
be aggressive
bullshit.
After 3 to 5 business days if it gets you.
Yeah, we'll be aggressive after the draft. That's what it sounds like to me when they do these dumb fuck moves. And just that whole mindset is what makes me angry. It's not the fact that Cowboys aren't getting this guy or that. It's just the dumb fuck moves. It's the dumb business way of looking at this thing. Oh, shit. We got Mr. Calvin Richard with that 5 on it.
Woo! Thank you so much, Calvin. Do you know what he had to say?
Hit me with it.
With his $5 holler. By the way, I think he kicked things off on the official side
true.
of things. So.
The first drop tonight here on the Super Chat side. Appreciate it.
He said, look on the bright side. We'll probably have a top 5 draft pick next year.
Ooh, that hurts my nuts. It's like we are literally, if that happens, we are literally rebuilding.
At that point,
Yeah, I mean, that's
I
what it looks
know.
like to me.
Let me see. I guess specifically next year, just because, again, we have so many either players or coaches in that weird kind of in-between situation. So, yeah.
It does feel like an all-in year for these players and coaches' careers in Dallas. It's all in for them. That's me. Maybe that's what Jerry Jones meant. By the way, much love to Calvin Richard, who jumps up the board. I think he's in 6th place, I think, right behind Marco Sepien in 6th place on the overall board. And the Brand Man falls to 6 points. He's who's that? Brian Anger? I don't know. Number 6. Why am I not? Oh, no, that's Donovan Wilson. What am I talking about? He's a Donovan Wilson away. Trayvon Diggs is 7 away from being taken down as the stream boss. Mr. Bramlett's still hanging on there. So anyways, my point is, let's get into some of the running backs, right? No Tony Pollard. Cowboys don't want to call anybody. They're waiting for running backs to call them and tell them how much they want. And if you fall in their price range. That's the way the front office is doing deals. So the Bills say, fuck the Cowboys. I mean, the running backs say, fuck the Cowboys. Why? Because former Bills running back, and I talked about him yesterday, Naheem Hines, he was released. He had that injury in the jet ski in the summer, last summer. He's signing with the Cleveland Browns. A 1-year deal worth only up to $3.5 million. Okay. Now, that's a risk because of this tear, but he's going to be ready to go earlier because he got injured in the summer of last year. So, $3.5 million, and that's with max potential. It's not bad to roll the dice on a guy with his abilities. What about Joe Mixon? Remember we said yesterday they were going to cut him? They were cutting Joe Mixon, the Bengals. They lied. Plot twist. The Bengals are trading Joe Mixon to the Houston Texans. Eastside Harold's celebrating like they won the Super Bowl. So again, I talked about their defensive moves. Their offensive moves, they're not bad either, guys. Now they brought in, Mixon, who might beat a bitch or two, I guess you could say, right? I mean, Eastside will know if he gets beaten by Joe Mixon, it makes sense. So again, rather than releasing him, they traded him. This is like the Cowboys. This is like a Jerry Jones move, but it actually worked. Jerry Jones, I'm going to cut this guy. And then they make a deal the next day for, we got something for him. This is similar to that. Like, we're going to cut this guy, but they actually get some wanters, some people that don't want to fight for Mixon's abilities in free agency. So, Zach Moss signs in Cincinnati. Mixon is traded to Houston. So he goes from Joe Burrow to C.J. Stroud, Mixon. We'll see how that works for them. But what do they give up for it? Well, again, this is why these deals, it's not always great to say you're going to cut someone because they did get someone for him, a pick, but the Texans only traded a 7th round pick away. That's it. It only cost a 7th round pick to get Pro Bowl running back Joe Mixon. And all I'm trying to say, and this, guys, I want to know what you guys feel about this, but let me ask you a question. We have 2 7th round picks. Why didn't the Clown Show? These are basically 7th rounders are basically undrafted guys. Yeah. Why didn't the Cowboys give up one of our 7th round picks for Joe Mixon on a cheap contract, or not a bad contract? And I'm trying to figure. I don't understand this. It seems that it would have made sense, but they were out to lunch. I don't fucking know. It's just the fact that they're just not doing due diligence. They tell us they will. They tell us they do, but they ain't doing it. So another guy off the board. Now, no more Joe Mixon in the mix. What about Aaron Jones? First guy gone off the board this morning, guys. Aaron Jones by the Vikings, who know him well. I mean, we know him well because he runs over our asses every fucking year. But the Vikings now made a deal that Aaron Rodgers couldn't refuse. And the Vikings signed former Packer running back Aaron Jones on a 1-year deal. You know how much it was? A 1-year deal. $7 million. Not that much. I mean, definitely on the cusp of what the Cowboys not going to spend that much. But, Aaron Jones is a guy who can catch, block, and run. He gets a little bit beat up by injuries. I do agree. Cowboys obviously are not going that direction when it comes to a $7 million, $6 million, $5 million, or $4 million running back. So what does that mean? I mean, I'm going to tell you one more running back that was out there. Let me complete the disaster. I know you see, again, not the end of the world, but the fact that the Cowboys didn't do anything is, I think, what's more concerning when it comes to Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, we knew was going to head this way, officially signed a 2-year deal with the Baltimore Ravens, which we kind of expected it happening, right? So he's not, bloop, never again to be seen. He's not a Cowboy. He's a Raven. What was the deal, though, baby? Would the Cowboys have signed him? Because remember, we didn't sign Zach Moss for $4 million a year for 2 years. So Derrick Henry signed a 2-year deal, $16 million. That's $8 million a year. Double what Zach Moss was, and the Cowboys said that's too high. There was no way we're going to get Derrick Henry into Dallas, right? And by the way, that deal has $2 million incentives every year, so he can get up to $20 million in the 2-year deal. Up to 20, so he can get up to $10 million a year on his deal, including $9 million fully guaranteed in the first year, again, with the Ravens. So, no Cowboy pick there. Now, by the way, Derrick Henry is going to cancel out a 6th round 2025 comp pick for the Ravens. So, again, you can secure up to 4 compensatory picks. Like we had 2 this year. They can get 4. They have lost 5 guys actually, that are above, that are going to be hit on the comp list, is my point. And what that means is, yeah, they lost one of their 5, but you can only get 4. And they still max out their 4 for next year. So they're still going to get a comp pick, even though Derrick Henry is using up, they have to give back a comp pick because Derrick Henry is a comp pick for the Tennessee Titans now. You got to remember that. Like when you get them, you lose a comp pick if they were not released or cut. If they played out their contract, you get the comp pick. I'm sorry, if you sign the player, that team that lost the player gets the comp pick, and that player that got the player, if they have any comp picks on their list of guys that left, and they lose one of those guys. So they still get their 4 comp picks for next year. But here's the key. I think, you know what I think changed the tide of this thing? Now I realize it, baby. We missed it. It was the comp pick. You know Stephen Jones loves his fucking compensatory picks.
Oh, yeah.
But once Stephen Jones remembered that a precious compensatory pick would be taken away from the Cowboys for losing, again, we've lost Tyler Biadasz, Dorrance Armstrong, Tony Pollard. Those are 3 compensatory picks. If we had gotten Derrick Henry, we'd only get 2. You guys feel me? And so Stephen Jones probably playing that mind game of saying, you know what? Hell no, we're not going for a guy that's going to cost us a comp pick. And by the way, in case you were wondering, where was Stephen Jones and really, Jerry Jones, the Clown Show, where were they? Again, if you look at our thumbnail, baby, can you see the name of the boat? The yacht, I should say. Bravo, Eugenia. And that boat
I thought you were going to say Bodie McBoatface or something, or whatever the heck, that one brand of boat was
He's
named.
currently in the Bahamas, near Nassau. He's near Governor Harbor. He's at Tarnan Head or something like this. This is where they're at right now, this afternoon, guys. While shit was going down in the NFL, and we were losing a guy, signing a guy, guys getting signed all around us. The Cowboys are in again. I don't know who it was in the actual yacht, but that yacht was floating around. This is Jerry Jones's yacht. Could have been his wife. It could have been a family member. Who knows? But Jerry Jones, his yacht was in the Bahamas there, near Nassau, in the Caribbean, while there's business to be done. So, again, We know that the boat's there. Where is Jerry? Where is Steven? Where is everybody at? Well, let me just say something else here first off. We're going to get into that in a minute. Because where are they? Are they MIA? Have anybody seen these guys since free agency started? They've seen Steven Jones. I'll tell you in a minute where. But let me just continue with the running back situation. New running back homes now. We went through some of these names yesterday. Tell me what you think about this new change. This will be a lot of different running backs.
Okay.
Derrick Henry with the Ravens. Aaron Jones with the Vikings. Joe Mixon with the Texans. Zach Moss with the Bengals. Saquon Barkley with the Eagles. Josh Jacobs with the Packers. Austin Eckler with the Commanders. Tony, again, the Commanders still picking up guys with all that money they got. Pollard went to the Tennessee Titans. DeAndre Swift to the Bears. Devin Singletary to the Giants. Gus Edwards to the Chargers. Antonio Gibson, formerly of the Commanders, went to the New England Patriots. What I'm trying to say here, these are all free agents. The running back well is almost dry. I mean, think about this for a minute, guys. You basically got a second or third. You have to, in my opinion, you kind of have to, if you're the Cowboys, pair up a third. You got to make a third-round pick. I don't think they go second round, but a third-round pick at running back to whoever we pair up with in free agency. We're going to sign somebody. We can't go with Deuce Vaughn and Tyler and Hunter Lipke. We can't do that. So again, guys, when you look at the situation for the Cowboys with what's left out there, we now have to use not just we have to sign somebody, even if it's Rico Dowdle, which right now I'm gonna be honest, he's one of the top names left on this fucking list here. So Rico Dowdle might be our starter if he's a free agent. So we got Rico Dowdle floating around. Those kind of you got to pair up a second or third round pick at running back. Unless the Cowboys are just not going to run at all this year, I don't know what to say. So. The Cowboys are getting dangerously close to a spot where any veteran running back right now that's left out there is going to be closer to, guess who? To a Ronald Jones that we got last year. Remember how long he lasted? He had his you don't remember, do you?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Yeah, he got that PED situation. He didn't get to practice the whole training camp, and we had him on an exempt list for 2 weeks, and then we cut him after a couple weeks. So again, Ronald Jones. That's the kind of running backs you're going to see floating around. A little bit better than that right now. We're at the cusp of Ronald Jones. That's going to be our starter type. Think about this, guys, how bad this front office is handling shit. And I'm not kidding when I say Rico is probably a top 10 guy left. I mean, I'm going to give you a list of names. I want you to tell me, because I'm going to go back and tell you about some of these names, and you tell me about these guys that are left. What do you fucking think about this? Because I don't know if there's anyone even worth signing at this point. The Vikings, by the way, are now the league leader in dead money. Those dead money. So it's not the Cowboys in this dead money cap, but we can't sign players. They're signing players. We're not signing players, and we don't have. They're number one in dead cap, $57.3 million in dead money for Minnesota. The Packers are number two at $46.5 million in dead money. The Seahawks are third at $36 million in dead money. Where are the Cowboys? Not that much dead money for the Cowboys. We have some, but we're not in the top three here. I mean, my goodness, these teams are spending some money. We aren't. NFC East, overall, free agency, day 2. The Eagles got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They got Devontae Parker, wide receiver. Giants got Drew Lock, Jalen Mills. Commanders got Dante Fowler from us. They got Jeremy Chin to play the Dan Quinn kind of safety position there. And the Cowboys retained the long snapper, Trent Sieg.
Everybody's favorite Super Bowl winning move.
Big difference, though, when comparing these 4 teams in the division. Big difference. And getting your long snapper, and just on day 2 signings. Day 1, I don't want to go through those. So you can add guys like Saquon Barkley to the Eagles and a bunch of Cowboys to the Washington Commanders. There's only 3 teams right now. After 2 days of moves, of pre-moves, I guess. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, it's official. These deals will come up. So I'm not going to go through all these deals again. They're official. All right, I might go through the Cowboy deals, but we don't have any. So the only 3 teams that have yet to sign someone in free agency outside of their team, the Cowboys are the last one to sign anybody, but to sign somebody off of your team, there's 3 teams that haven't done that yet. The Buccaneers, the Seahawks, and of course the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, that I didn't have to say that, did I, guys? So Tad Prescott, not Dak, but Tad Prescott, after all these moves were not made by the Cowboys, he said, quote, "So if it wasn't clear already, it is now. The Eagles have the best front office in the NFL. Hashtag How about them Cowboys? Now, how do you feel about those comments and being said, and again, calling out the front office of the Cowboys? Not Dak, but Tad Prescott.
Yeah, one, it's been a very family-filled offseason for us as more and more of our Cowboy players and their families end up speaking out. So I have to imagine Dak is not, I want to say, happy with that statement, just that, his brother does and says, like, his own stuff. Dak's not his dad. He's not here to be like the babysitting police or whatever. But yeah, just a very, very interesting, and you can tell that, or at least, how about this? Let me rephrase that. You can assume that Dak shares some of his sentiments. So, just saying. Oh, that was all I had to really say on that. I don't know what more you want, but let me go ahead and hit up the chat. Seabass said, I hope someone else takes Brooks so we don't have to take him if he's there. Bad Intention said, Dak has no O-line. Prescott's has no running back. Are they expecting to get all of this in the draft? I mean,
there's no way you can do that. Right now, you have to make. They're going to make free agent moves. It's going to be later in the free agency period. Cowboys are playing like they got only $1 million in cap when we really have like $50 million, but the Cowboys don't want to show it yet. So we have $1 million. We can't make any moves unless we restructure, unless we make a couple cuts, the Cowboys aren't doing that because they want to hold. They don't want to have the excuse that it's on them. We don't have the money is what they're saying. It's the players. It's Dak. It's not those guys. It's these guys on your screen. These two fucking idiots. By the way, Jason Renfro just dropped that $6 holler.
Ooh, thank you, Jason.
Yes. Well, guess what that did, though? The takeover is complete. He has taken over. The stream boss from Jeremy Bramlett.
Officially.
Yeah, appreciate you, Jason. And hey, he's creeping up on all the boards here. You never know. Much love to Jason. I think he just jumped over. A couple people here with that drop over Calvin Richard and over Mark Hosepian to jump into a top 5 spot there. Much love, Mr. Jason Renfro. Go Cowboys.
Oh, so Darren's. The CEO, David, said, I would rather have Howie Roseman as our GM than Jerry Jones.
Agree 1,000%. I said it before. People got mad at me. I guess they're not mad now. Because I know that some people, how dare you talk about our front? Hey, I know some content creators that say, Jerry's better than Howie. Shut the fuck up. It's not true. Sorry. Tad Prescott is correct, I think, about that comment he made about, that the Eagles have a better front office, at least the better front office than the Cowboys. But he's obviously out there trying to, get his 2 cents. And again, what that does to me sometimes I don't mind. I know he's going to say it, but my issue is now you make it sound like Dak is saying that. That's the way Dak sounds,
and that's the unfortunate thing. Like Texas Cat said, is Dak speaking through his brother? Unfortunately, with his brother speaking out, it sounds like everything he's saying is like you guys are saying, like sanctioned by Dak somehow.
And Dak allowed this, but we know Dak doesn't have control. He said it before. He can't control what his brother does, or what I'm saying, like. I don't know what is going on behind the scenes. Remember, Dak was still kind of like interested to see what the Cowboys were going to do when they said, we're going to go all in. He says, yeah, I heard about that. One of the few things I heard was the Cowboys Jerry said we're going to go all in. He said, I'm looking forward to see what that looks like. Like that, to me, it was almost like a troll job on Jerry. Like, I can't wait to see what the all in looks like for Jerry, because I have my reservations and doubts, and hey, so did we. And of course, we last week we knew this was going to be a Jerry Jones all in, which is a clown show all in, not a real all-in move, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, anyways, what does it have to do with this? Let me explain. Tad Prescott, according to, today on First Take, Stephen A. Smith made some comments about, and I actually agree with Stephen A. Smith saying some of the things that we're saying, like, shut the hell up. That's what Stephen A. Smith said. He said, quote, Tad Prescott, shut the hell up. I'm sick of him. Because he just don't let out that kind of stuff. We talked about Micah Parsons' brother yesterday saying the Cowboys ain't moving. I think the same thing with that. He should shut the fuck up, and so should Tad Prescott. But they can do what they want. I'm saying when you are when you say those things, it makes it sound like the players are saying these things, and that could create an issue. For the not for the front office, but for the team, for the players, and the ones that look at Dak and look at all these other guys. So again, that's what Stephen A. Smith said about Tad Prescott. Tad Prescott, Dak's brother, on his comments about the Eagles front office, which he just discussed. But you know what else he said, which I found interesting? He said where Stephen Jones was. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith. And the reason I'm mentioning this like this, though, is because Stephen Jones was spotted. He had an event. It was, again, after all the yacht jokes, vacation jokes that we've made, and I still think, I'm going to look at the picture, I think Jerry's partying down right now. He could maybe pick a better one, but he's partying right now. I think that Stephen is obviously doing his speaking engagements or whatever it may be that he's up to back wherever he's supposed to be. Well, we know where he was now. Stephen A. Smith said that Stephen Jones was at the South by Southwest Conference yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. March 11th, 2024. From 2:30 p.m., I checked this, to 3:30 p.m., he spoke, guys. It was Stephen Jones. It was his sister, Charlotte Jones, with Jerry Cardinale. They were at the Four Seasons Ballroom for his discussion, his talk. So I don't care what he said. It's not important. The important thing is Stephen Jones was not on the boat. He was not on a yacht. He was not on vacation. Mm-hmm. On the first day of yesterday, on the first day of the tampering time, he was at the South by Southwest convention. So at least we know that not on the boat. Jerry might have been. We don't know where Jerry is, but we know Stephen was not on that boat, which right now is, for the last 2 days, has been in the Caribbean. So like he jumped on the boat and then jumped off the boat. You know what I mean? He obviously never got on the boat, is the point. Jerry missing in action. He might be on that boat. I think Jerry is on that boat. I'm going to just leave it at that. But we know that Jerry may be there, but not Stephen Jones. So I just wanted to clear that up. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that and Stephen's location of things. But I don't know, but any thoughts on that from you or the family in the chat?
Yeah, of course. So Matt Batten said, this is Stephen Jones' team. Get used to it and sad, but true. Jerry Jones is not in control, guys. Pioneer said, Stephen Jones wears ladies' glasses.
That's funny. It's true.
Dactylojo said, Pioneer's Jerry set him up 7 years ago. Let me roll back here. Seabass saying, many players' families voice their opinions on social media. Players can't filter what
and
they
I agree.
say.
Yeah,
9 times out of 10, they're echoing the same sentiment that a player has.
And whether it is or isn't, the point is that they also can't stop them from going on their own social media and doing something. You know what I mean? So that's one of those things where, it's tough for all the players to have to deal with their families doing this stuff, but I just wish that their families were a little bit more, on top of things. So as I'm going to go through the long list of guys that were signed and moves that were done, and we could discuss that at the end of the show. But I want to go through a couple guys that were not moved yet, but are expected to be moved soon. And they're guys of interest for our Cowboys. And this is what I'm looking for day 3, I guess, which is really tomorrow, day 1. So the Niners, who've made a trade for Chase Young in the middle of the season, Aaron was bitching about that for the Cowboys not making that move. Chase Young is a free agent. He's leaving San Francisco. They basically traded him for half a year, Chase Young, the Niners. So the Niners, Chase Young is not signed anywhere, but he is added to the Tennessee Titans. He added the Titans to his visit schedule. So Chase Young looks like he's going to go, or looking at the Titans. He also is going to visit the Panthers and the Saints first. So no Cowboys, which I didn't expect the Cowboys to be in the mix. But I just kind of say, hey, look, the Niners deal didn't work out for them. They traded away draft capital, and they got Chase Young, which was okay for their, for 8-10 games, but was it worth it in the end? I don't know. The Raiders, they're currently in talks with a guy I love from the Buccaneers, 26-year-old linebacker, Devin White. We talked about a lot here. So the Raiders are looking at Devin White. So, you're going to have Chase Young going somewhere else, Devin White going somewhere else. What about our own guys? What about Tyron Smith? Because he's still floating around out there, right? And so to me, Tyron Smith is a guy I'm watching. He's watching us. We're watching him. Right now, he's one of the few impact starters that are still available in free agency overall in any position. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute because I'll tell you what I think and a couple other players I think we're going to look at for tomorrow. But Jason Renfro dropping that one too.
Woo.
Dollar holler.
Thank you so much, Jason. You know what he said?
Hit me.
All in on losing all of our players and not signing anyone. That's what we're all in.
That's literally what it feels like. Hopefully we get somewhere back all in, Jason. with Tyron Smith. And the reason I say that is he's still available. He's probably didn't get what he thought he was going to get in free agency because he's a banged up guy and they're not going to. He wants a certain amount and he ain't getting it. So maybe it's time to circle back to Dallas. Don't want to uproot your family for $1 million more, right, Tyron? So Tyron Smith is one of the few impact starters available. The injury history is what's clouding the contract numbers, is what I'm hearing, which is what we said was going to happen. But unlike some players in the media, which are, again, they're overrated in this free agent period, this guy is the guy. When he's on the field, he's a Pro Bowler when he's healthy. And we've seen it. And we know it. So I'm really interested to see where he lands at and what cost. I'm wondering if the Cowboys will make another move to maybe revisit this situation. I hope so. It's a question mark. I hope so, though. How about another name for you, baby? I'm going to throw out there at center. Connor Williams. He's out there at center. Remember, he got to be one of the best centers in the league after leaving us at guard. Went to the Dolphins at center, McLovin's Dolphins, and became a top center. He's available. He's a free agent right now, but he has some medical issues, so that's important, obviously. But I would say, what about him at center for the Cowboys coming back? Usually we don't do that. So coming back, Tyron coming back, Connor Williams, just a couple names I'm throwing out there. But last night I talked about DJ Reader, a defensive tackle, an interior defensive tackle that I believe is the comparable guy to some of these very high value guys that are out there. So hopeful, again, not signed, but guess what? DJ Reader, guys, is visiting the Lions on Thursday. So, again, all these names that we kind of like, that we discussed, the ones that we hated, maybe it's a second or third level guys, even these guys are not even being seen by the Cowboys. All these guys I just mentioned, they're not. Tyron Smith, I have no idea about. Connor Williams floating around with medical issues. DJ Reader being checked out by the Lions. Devin White getting checked out by the Raiders. I'm just saying, we're losing every day so many more opportunities for our players. And I'm going to end with running back here. Before I do the NFL stuff, I'm going to finish with the NFL news today. But running backs, baby. Okay. To replace Pollard, we got no one. We got no Rico Dowdle. We got Deuce Vaughn, who's going to be cut. We got Hunter Lipke, a fullback, and Malik Davis, a running back, with Snoop Connor, who is a practice squad guy. That's our running back core, and it's shit. So here's the pick of the litter when it comes to running backs, baby. And to me, there's a couple good names still left, and we've actually mentioned these guys before. I'm going to start with the ones I like the most. A.J. Dillon from the Packers, 26 years old. I would love to bring him in. Can he be $3.5 million, $3 million? A.J. Dillon. J.K. Dobbins is a guy at the top of a lot of people's lists. J.K. Dobbins, a running back with the Baltimore Ravens, who bounced back from injury. Supposedly he's good to go, so keep an eye on J.K. Dobbins, 25 years old, and A.J. Dillon, 26 years old. Those are my top two kind of Cowboy hopes at this point. There is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who we know with KC had a good first year. He kind of, pittered out, but he's 25 years old. He's a free agent that's going to go under $4 million. Then I got Damian Harris at 27 years old, Deontay Foreman at 26 years old, and Rico Dowdle. Yes, Rico at 26 years old. That's like the top 6-7 list I got at running backs. So when you look at the free agents that are left when it comes to, yards per carry, listen to the yards per carry for some of these guys. Alexander Madison from the Vikings, a free agent, 3.9 yards per carry. Trash. That's trash. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 3.2 yards per carry. Kareem Hunt, who I like Kareem Hunt, 3 yards per carry. Matt Breida, 2.7 yards. J.K. Dobbins, now last year he didn't play, but in 2022, 5.7 yards per carry. So I'm eyeballing you, J.K. Dobbs. Deontay Foreman, 3.9 yards. Anything under 4 is not good. A.J. Dillon, 3.4 yards. Unfortunately, that's what he was used for, more short yardage stuff. Damian Harris, 4.1 yards. Rico Dowdle, 4.1 yards. Zeke Elliott, 3.5 yards. No one here is getting over 4 yards pretty much a carry. Not good. And to me, the guy with the best ability, but injury prone, I guess, J.K. Dobbins. You want a guy who's kind of like a tough guy you can pair up with somebody in the draft? I like A.J. Dillon. But there's a couple other guys you can still go with here. Don't forget Rico Dowdle, but do you guys want to go from Zeke to Pollard to Rico? Mm-hmm. We're literally going from like our starter to our backup to our third stringer. Like, that's what it feels like. And when you look at other names like Cordell Patterson, 32 years old. Boston Scott, 28 years old, from Philly. Dare Ugubawali. He's a running back from, he used to be from the Houston. He's 29. Salvin Ahmed from the Dolphins, 25 years old. I mean, Rashad Penny, formerly of the Seahawks and the Eagles, 28 years old. Those are the guys that are left. So I'm going to tell you guys one last time the name to get, the names that are left at running back is not many. And I want to know what you think and what the chat thinks as far as running backs. But I'm a J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Dillon. I'm going with the initials here. Shit, I mean, at this point, I could see Clyde Edwards-Helaire maybe being a little bit of a help. Maybe Kareem Hunt. But outside of that, slim fucking pickings already. I'm just picking from slim pickings. Any thoughts from you, baby, on this?
I mean, at this point, if those are the options,
that's the options. That's
so
it.
to speak,
we got to draft someone.
You might as
well.
Yeah, I was going to say, fuck it. You might as well draft someone.
Well, like, I think we got to do both. We just can't draft.
I know we have to do both. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, my whole point is that if these are the guys we have, like, why bother signing them? Like, just get the free. Look, don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, again, I think you got to look at it like this. These guys are so lackluster in taking over the number one running back role that you still, the only way you can make them viable is if you pair them up with another viable kind of starter, which would be a draft pick. We have to draft the running back, and we got to pick up one of these, change of pace guys.
It's not like we're out getting two of these guys.
No fucking way. We're getting one of these guys, maybe. And if not one of these guys, it'll be Rico Dowdle is going to be the guy we get with a rookie. That's what I'm thinking the Cowboys are going to do. And don't tell me, again, I hate to say it. I don't want to be bearer of bad news, but I truly believe that. That's what the Cowboys are. They said they're going to take this differently this time. They're going to redo this whole running back market thing, right? Well, running back market is going back up. Cowboys are saying we're going to go as cheap as motherfucking possible. So what is the chat saying about
no surprises
all
there,
these
right?
things here?
Lost in Translation said the pickings are slim, like skinny jeans.
Yeah.
So, Drums and Cowboys said, on top of the fact that the Cowboys pay chicken feed, there's uncertainty in our coaching staff and QB situation. No one's going to want to come here, so just get ready for some 8 and 9.
That's the other thing that's a killer. When they see the way the front office does things, that they're not adding people, they're not even trying, then who's going to want to even come here to add on to the mix?
Jason Harper said, looking like Jonathan Brooks' draft for the Cowboys. So
again, Longhorn running back who has a torn ACL in the third round. I'm not loving it. He's good and all, but will he stay healthy? He's going to be the same guy. Yada yada. I mean, come on. Talk about I'm not happy with that pick, even if he's a decent player because of the injury concerns. Mm-hmm. It's so bad. I can't believe we're hoping for this. I see CPG in the place to be.
That's
Much
right.
love.
Queenie's in here too.
Queenie. I'm sure I'll be seeing you guys somewhere around the YouTube world. I don't think After Dark's going live tonight, but I guess you never know. It might go live. You never know. I had a rough one last night hanging in there with all you guys kicking my ass on the board and all that good stuff. So is that everything from the chat?
Yeah, more or less, because like I said, most of the other ones are things we already touched on, right? Pioneer said, we're already a lame duck organization. Oh, quack, quack.
Yeah. Our first two picks, he said he's going to be offensive lineman, and I'm not lost in translation to that. I agree. CPG, you got to know when to draft for needs and go best player available. Agreed. Cowboys we have 18 players, opening spots on our fucking roster, whether it's starters or depth, for best player available. Cowboys better find something, because we're pretty bad right now when it comes to our decrease. I mean, again, I'm going to show you guys. Oh man, it's so depressing to me. But when it comes to our tracker, my God, we lost 3 guys to Dan Quinn, the Dan Quinn Commanders, and Pollard went to Titan Anderson's Tennessee Titans, and then we signed a long snapper and Trent Zieg and a practice squad nose tackle that played like shit when he was called up 3 times and elevated from the practice squad. That's the moves from the fucking cocksucking motherfucking clown show. That's just the way it is. Now, clown show away. Get the clown show out of here. I'm done looking at their dumb fucking faces. They've ruined our nights way enough already. More than enough over the last 28 plus years. So let me just get right to it and finish up with the other moves of the NFL. And I'm going to go through these as fast as I can, but some of them will be relative. Some will be relative to the Cowboys, some won't. But I'm going to go through these. Hang with me here, guys. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, notification bell, and all that good stuff, because this is the finale of the show. We're going to wrap it up here in a couple of minutes. But Darius Williams, former Jacksonville cornerback Darius Williams, finalized a deal to go to the Rams. That's where he won a Super Bowl in the past, so he's going back. Darius Williams going back there, a 3-year deal with them. The Bills agreed to terms with Daquan Jones, defensive nose tackle, 2-year deal, $16 million. It's $8 a year with $10.5 fully guaranteed. The max value is $18, so he's getting almost $9 million a year. Of course, we talked about the deal with the trade with Joe Mixon. We talked about the move with Aaron Jones, which we knew about those ones already. Some other ones here. The Falcons signing Bears wide receiver Darnell Mooney. And again, new playmaker type guy for Kirk Cousins in Atlanta, but he's getting a 3-year, $39 million deal from Mooney. I think Mooney just mooned you guys, because that's not that great of a deal for the Bears, in my opinion. Great negotiation there by David Mulgada and AJ Stevens, who do contracts with the Cowboys too, by the way. They ripped off the Falcons there, I think, with Mooney. Got ripped them off a bit. Now, let me see. Okay, and this is like, we hit the main ones here, like King Henry, of course, going to the Ravens. So that was a big piece of news there. Patrick Queen discussed that. I talked about Chase Young looking to the to Tennessee Titans, the Panthers, and the Saints. The Colts re-signing one of their best corners out there, Kenny Moore, now the highest paid nickel cornerback. It's okay for Cowboy fans, because we got DeRon Bland, who's much better at nickel than the outside corner. He's getting moved back to nickel in his more comfortable spot. Even though he did well on the outside, he's better at the inside as a nickel corner. We didn't need someone like him, but he is worth it. He's getting 3 years, $30 million, $10 million a year for one of the best nickel cornerbacks. That's fucking good. So, not a bad deal, and not a bad deal for both guys, the team and the player. So we'll see what happens, Looking at this here, I talked about Uche and that freaking crazy move he made there, taking less money, staying in New England. Packers brought back the all-pro punt returner, kick returner, Keyshawn Nixon. So they're re-signing him to a 3-year, $18 million deal. Goes to $19.2 million. One of their priority guys, too. And interesting that they are focusing on a returner. And a returner is getting basically, $6 million a year. So that's pretty good there. Now, I talked about Ashawn Robinson, which was this again, congrats to CPG, because that's a guy I liked. He went to them on a 3-year, $22.5 million deal. But it's because they know Ejiro Evero, and they're close in contact, both guys, when he was with them. And Evero, the coach, was with Ashawn Robinson back in New York, the Giants. So that's how they got reunited there. Niners added another defensive tackle with formerly of the Browns, Jordan Elliott, on a 2-year, $10 million deal, $5 million a year. Like I said, Carolina did get Josie Jewell. Too much for the Cowboys, and I'm glad we didn't go for him for $7.5 million a year. 22.75 was what they got him for in a 3-year deal. Unfortunately, Levante David's gone off the board, who I really liked. 1-year deal, $10 million, base $9 million there. Bears agreed to terms with defensive back Jonathan Owens on a 2-year deal. Again, getting some money there with the former Packer. Owens had 84 tackles in this season, from a defensive back position there. Spent the first 4 years of his career with Eastside Harold's Texans. Just a reminder there. Now, of course, we talked about Daniel Hunter going to the Texans. Great pickup for them. I do agree. It's a big money one. To me, the more cost-effective pickup in Daniel Hunter was one of the biggest misses for the Cowboys, Willie Gay. Not Will He Gay, but Willie Gay from the Chiefs. Linebacker, off ball. That's what we needed. Well, the Saints got him for $5 million. Max $5 million. Jordan Poyer, formerly of the Bills safety, went to the Dolphins for a 1-year deal with them. Very affordable deal, I remember. I'm not sure if I can find it here, but I talked about Gardner Johnson, just turned 26, returning to the Eagles on a 3-year deal worth up to $33 million. They're spending $11 million a year for a slot corner who, again, to me, maybe he just beat out Kenny Moore for the top slot corner money there. Interesting, expensive. He's good. I don't know, maybe a little overpay there. The Panthers, they did agree to terms. Their own, I think, was it their own wide receiver? I don't know. Wide receiver Amir Smith Marset on a 1-year deal. Low-level move there. Let's see here. What else? Austin Hooper. How can I forget my guy, Austin Hooper? Expected to sign with the Raider. He's a former Raider. Expected to sign with the Patriots. Getting a 1-year deal worth up to $4.25 million. He reunites with Patriots OC Alex Van Pelt, who was with them back in Cleveland. So I guess congrats to him. Jameis Winston getting a 1-year deal finalized to become the Browns' backup quarterback. Yep. Base value of about $4 million with the upside. I guess if he plays some games, gets some stats, gets some touchdowns, he gets a little bit more money there, but $4 million is what he gets. He gets 80 career starts and now is behind Deshaun Watson up there in Cleveland. Let me see if there's any other. Oh, yeah, the Steelers traded Deontay Johnson to the Carolina Panthers. They're very active today. I see CPG in the house here. So he is involved. I know Jerry gets into play. I saw that funny meme out there of the Panthers. They have you could rip off the numbers on the jersey, front and back, and the name because they change the guys so often. But they did get Deontay Johnson from the Steelers receiver to Carolina Panthers. They got him. Let me see. Oh, no, the Steelers traded Deontay Johnson to Carolina for Dante Jackson. Plus, they swapped day 3 picks as well. So, sorry about that. But again, tomorrow free agency actually is official. Not one of these moves are official yet. Keep that in mind. So, going back and forth there. Let's see who else. Did I miss anything here, guys? I'm just disappointed about a couple of these moves the Cowboys missed on. For the most part, though, I'm not really too, it's kind of like, these are the big money deals going through. The Cowboys going to stay out of that shit. The Rams placed a second-round restricted tender on left tackle Alaric Jackson. It's worth $4.89 million. The Cowboys want to go for a left tackle. That's definitely sus. You can take a risk on a $5 million tackle. I don't think so. He's free to negotiate. That's the way that goes. The Cardinals signed offensive lineman Keith Ishmael to a 1-year contract. Who else? Did I miss anybody else here? Let me know, guys, if I missed anyone. I think I got pretty much everyone. Touched on every guy out here. Drew Lock signed with the Giants, the backup quarterback for them. Long snapper for the Commanders. They're signing Tyler Ott to a 3-year deal. After they signed 20 guys, then they signed their long snapper. We haven't signed anyone. We signed our long snapper first. Yeah. Good stuff there. Good stuff. Chase Young, again, trying to visit the Panthers, the Saints, and other teams, but not signed yet. Who else we got? The Lions are signing cornerback Amick Robinson from the Raiders, a 2-year, $9.25 million deal worth up to $10.75 million with incentives. He appeared in 52 games, 21 starts with the Raiders, can play the slot as well. So that's why they added him there after the Carlton Davis trade. I think about the Cowboys and kind of, we got Stephon Gilmore still out there. Tyron Smith is still out there. At least get our own guys back and then add some running backs and linebackers. That's the way I'm looking at this. At this point, I'm just hoping for that. Let's just hope for that shit. The Niners, the special teams ace George Odom agreed on a 2-year extension worth up to $10 million. This puts him at the top of the core of special teams units and the top of the market of special teams players. Again, 2-year extension, $5 million a year for a special teams player. Former Saints defensive tackle Malcolm Roach, solid guy inside, signing with the Broncos on a 2-year deal worth up to $8 million. So you're seeing the numbers come down a little bit for the solid defensive tackles. And that's where I'm looking at to help our run game. So again, Malcolm Roach, decent, $4 million a year. Cowboys passed on him. Gotta love it. By the way, Joe Mixon, I wanted to mention, he is due $5.7 million in 2024, including $3 million roster bonus in the last year of his contract. So that's why he was traded to Houston. They're going to be taking on those hits. They're going to have to pay him again if they want him after. So they're just giving up a 7th-round pick to get a chance to get it's a 1-year rental, 7th-round pick for basically about $9 million. I don't think the Cowboys were going to make that move, guys. I'm pretty sure they were not going to make that move. You know what I mean? So you look at that, you look at all these other moves going on, some people may be like, well, the Cowboys should have done more. Yeah, there's definitely some names we could have taken major advantage of. We did not. So I am totally against all that shit, and I hate the way the Cowboys are looking at this. They're doing this free agency in a very pussified way. If that's a word, I don't know, but I just said it. So when I look at this, I'm like very, very, disappointed with the way they're running things. But at the same time, there's not a lot of guys to to work with in the money range the Cowboys are working with. And again, those that blame Dak for the restructure, like Mahomes restructured and created an additional $21.6 million on the cap, and they made the Chiefs able to go into the free agency with money under the cap. That's up to the organization, not to the quarterback. So people get mad about that, but it has nothing to do with Dak Prescott. Everything to do with Jerry Jones and Stephen motherfucking Jones. That's the big issue there. Them. That's it. Dan Skipper, guys. Wow, look at that. We know him from that Cowboy-Lions game. Remember, illegally reporting, former Cowboy, 6'9", backup tackle, offensive lineman, Dan Skipper, re-signing with the Lions on a 1-year deal. Yes, not Taylor Decker. Dan Skipper reporting. The former Dolphins defensive tackle Raekwon Davis signing a 2-year deal, $14 million base, $7 million a year with the Colts. So they got Grover Stewart and they got Raekwon Davis. They are solidifying that run stop inside. They're paying a lot though for these guys. This is probably about what in this year. I'm going to say it's about $17 million for just their 2 run stoppers inside. I wish the Cowboys. Sounds like a lot, but I wish the Cowboys would fucking do that. Former Patriots safety and Eagles safety Jalen Mills reached an agreement on a 1-year deal with the Giants, back in the NFC East now, right? I talk about Josie Jewell. I don't want to reiterate. Free agent wide receiver Brandon Powell returning to the Vikings on a 1-year deal. Jeremy Chin, I mentioned it earlier, but he's going to Washington. Yes, with Dan Quinn. A versatile chess piece, your Donovan Wilson. Jeremy Chin now with Dan Quinn in Washington. I said it earlier as well, went through it really quickly, but Eagles and former Patriots wide receiver Devontae Parker reached an agreement on a 1-year deal. So the Eagles picked up Devontae Parker, 1-year deal, $4.69 million. It's fully guaranteed, but that's fully guaranteed, but under $5 million for Devontae Parker for your third receiver. See, that's how you fix that third receiver spot situation. The Cowboys are going to go with Jalen Tolbert, third-round pick, who's doing better, or Jalen Brooks, which is our 7th-round pick last year. So, that's the way the Cowboys roll. It's not the way we like to roll here too much. Trying to see if I missed anything, guys. The Bears agreed to terms with tight end Gerald Everett, formerly of the Chargers and the Rams. The Bears are signing him for a 2-year, $12 million base value deal, max $14 million, so he's getting between $6 and up to $7 million per year. But basically 1 year is fully guaranteed, $6.1 million. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. I'm just double-checking here. Drew Lock, by the way, for the Giants, got a 1-year deal, guaranteed $5 million as a backup. Our backup is Cooper Rush, $2.5 million. And then the third stringer is, what's his name? Trey, I forget his name. I forgot his name. Trey Lance, who might be traded to the Minnesota Vikings. We shall see, but he's hitting us for about $5 million, $6 million. Free agent safety Deion Bush returning to the Chiefs on a 1-year deal. That's also official. And, just double checking here. Last couple things here, making sure we're all caught up and good. Receiver tight end situation here. Irv Smith Jr., formerly of the Vikings and the Bengals, reached a 1-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. Back behind Travis Kelce, it looks like. And New England, they're pushing to sign free agent receiver Calvin Ridley, who's out there. But the sources are saying that out there that he's going to probably prefer, and the Jacksonville Jaguars prefer, that he returns to Jacksonville and try to get a deal done with them, even though New England is looking to try to sign him. Free agent running back Dearness Johnson is returning to the Jaguars on a 1-year deal. Free agent Shaq Barrett, edge rusher, agrees to terms with the Dolphins, formerly of the Bucs, of course, but he's now with the Dolphins on a 1-year deal worth up to $9 million. Not a bad deal there, I will say, for the Dolphins. I would say on a 1-year deal there. And, I think that's pretty much it. Mike Gesicki signing a 1-year deal worth up to $3.25 million. Washington's also, former Eagles quarterback, Atlanta quarterback, Tennessee quarterback Marcus Mariota signing with the Washington Commanders. Forgot to add him to the Dan Quinn list as the backup now with Sam Howell. So it's Marcus Mariota, Sam Howell fighting for the quarterback spot on the roster right now for them. Interesting little battle going on there, huh? So again, Javon Kinlaw, former Niners free agent defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw, reach an agreement with the New York Jets, a 1-year deal for him. I think Brandon McManus, I said that yesterday, 1-year deal for the Commanders, $3.6 million for a kicker. So, yeah, he got the big money there. And Tommy Townsend signing a 2-year deal with the Houston Texans. 2 years, $6 million a year, $3 million a year for a punter. He may be good, but, we have Brian Anger, one of the best. Tommy Townsend leaving Kansas City. Matt Ariza is the only punter on the Chiefs roster. Remember, they signed him with the rape charges after he was found, he was taken off of that. So they found him. Obviously, the woman was lying. So, he's free to go back to the NFL now, and looks like he's going to be the starting punter for the Chiefs because they let their guy go, and he signed for $3 million a year somewhere else. Ravens are re-signing free agent linebacker Malik Harrison to a 1-year deal. The Buccaneers re-signing free agent running back Chase Edmonds. He's off the books. Re-signing him back to the Buccaneers on a 1-year deal. I talked about Jordan Hicks yesterday, 2 years, linebacker, 2 years, going to the Browns on an $8 million deal. So that's $4 million a year. Seahawks still, I don't know if did they close in on Leonard Williams? I think they got him signed up, who was available for a little bit, but I guess he's off the books there. Brissett to the Patriots. I think I talked about that yesterday. So we're all caught up, guys. I went through all the big names of the all the big names and the little names when it comes to our Dallas Cowboys. And I shout out people like Dwayne Broussard who couldn't make it today in the chat because the frustration is major for the Cowboy fan base, and I can understand it. I feel the pain. I guess I expected it. I'm upset. I'm frustrated. But I'm not mad. I expected this crap, unfortunately. And now it's just coming to fruition. And again, people blame Dak. People blame, other players in the team or CD or, Micah's deal or whatever it may be. But in the end, guys, it's the Joneses. It's the fucking clown show that we are in this situation. As I said before, now after signing Trent Zieg, we have $1 million under the cap. And it's still under the cap. We didn't release Michael Gallup, but that's going to be for June 1st when we do. What about restructures? What about releasing LVE? What about extensions? Even doing Trayvon Diggs extension, restructure, Terrence Steele restructure, Donovan Wilson restructure. We get almost $20 million to work in free agency. The Cowboys didn't want to show that because they want to show everybody we don't have money to spend on free agency. So when we don't get players, you guys, not you guys, but, meaning like Jerry Jones is speaking to, like, you guys, the fans, can blame Dak. And that's what they got. Some fans fall for it. Much love to Clark motherfucking Kent in the house with that 5 on it. Man, I'm telling you, it's been a rough one for sure. For all of us so far to finish the season the way it finished, the way this league year is about to start tomorrow officially, been rough. He said, do you think we should trade old Micah, man? Dude seems like social media means more to him. It's a circus, man. Go Cowboys. It's a circus, a clown show. Listen, I think Micah wants to win. This is the new era of kind of players that are out there. They're going to be on podcasts and on Twitter and doing their own gaming things and all that shit. And I'm not loving it. I think we're going to take our frustrations out on Micah for just being himself. And I even though I'm not a big fan of the being out there in social media, a lot of guys are out there in social media. Some aren't. Dak isn't. These guys are hold back from it, but that's Micah's world. A lot of the next 10 years, everyone's going to be on the internet in every single way possible. Social media, YouTube pages, podcasts. So I'm not really mad about that. I don't want to take out the frustration of the team and put it on Micah. That's exactly what Jerry Jones wants us to do. But trading him is always a viable possibility, but without question, you would have to you're basically restarting on your defense from scratch. I would say you do that only if you're going to actually rebuild Micah and Dak and CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys shouldn't sign them. We should just start over with a whole new crew, and then it'll take us about 10 years to get back into the playoffs. So, and with Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, it ain't like they're restarting and we're rebuilding and they're going to rebuild something better than we have already. It ain't great what we have, but at least we got a run ability here once in a blue moon. Can we make a run? Or the other question is, can we win a game if we rebuild? And after we rebuild, how's the rebuild going to look? Are we going to be actually better than we are now or worse in 5 years? After being worse every year from now for 5 years. So trading Micah away, you get the right picks, you get all that. And then what do the Cowboys do with that? Do we make the right picks? Do we develop the players properly with the right coaching? Does the front office stay out of the business of coaching and scheming? Or do they stay involved to tell the coaches who should get the ball more and spread out the ball? Because that's what they're doing now. So if that's the case, and rebuilding or not rebuilding is not going to make a difference. So trading Micah won't make a difference. We got the team right now. I mean, again, we're losing so many pieces. I can't speak what it's going to look like in a day or in a week or in a month. It could look a little different, a little better. We can start seeing some progress back to being somewhat to where we were last year, maybe. We got a lot of time, but haven't seen anything yet, right? So we got to see it before we believe it. Trading Micah is, I think, more of a knee-jerk reaction. And no matter what, I believe you keep Micah here. Shit, why not? Keep him under contract. We could keep him for 6 or 7 years, and then you can trade his ass if you want to. And I'm saying 6 or 7 years without, you just use, listen, guys, you got the 5th-year option. That's 5 full years. After the 5th year, you tag him on his 6th year. You double tag him on the 7th year. It will still be less than the $35 million a year you pay for Micah right now. So that does make sense. If you keep him Micah for 7 years with the Cowboys on the tag, now that means he could also sit out a year. He could also, it will definitely hurt the team chemistry and all that stuff, but that's what business is, I guess. And the Cowboys can do that if they want to. And then after that 7th year, or they can trade him. I just wouldn't trade him now. I'd keep that man on this team and use him up as much as I could. And I hate saying it like this because I think he should be given a big contract. He's worth it. He's earned it. He's one of the best, if not the best defensive player in the league. But yeah, if the Cowboys are going to rebuild, do it in a year or two, and then get to whatever you can for Micah. That's my thought there. Clark motherfucking Kent in the house. I will update that board in a minute. The wife has an earlier day than I do, obviously. She always does. So she had to kind of jump off of here. I want to make sure she was here for the Cowboy portion discussions. But this part now is just a Q&A, basically, as we're going to drop out of here for the night, as I finished up all the signings of the day for our Cowboys. So for the NFL, our Cowboys, this would have been a 3-minute stream if I just talked about a Cowboy moves and losses. So, it's always clown show, unfortunately. That's the biggest issue on this team, is this foundational issue. These fucking fools. But then when you look at, one's on vacation in the Caribbean, the other one's on some, south by Southwest conference, and this is what happens. Getting a practice squatter in Carl Davis, and we got a long snapper in Trent Sieg. Our own guys returning. Pollard to the Tennessee Titans, Armstrong to the Washington Commanders with Biotish and Fowler. That's the clown show. Those are the moves we made. Those are the guys we lost. And we still have TYRON Smith, Stephon Gilmore. I mean, I could go through the list on and on and on about our players. Look, I go through our list right now. How many guys do we have left? As I end this thing tonight here on MCF, let me just go through the list real quick. Of the Pollard's off the list. We know the guys that are off the list, but let's look at the guys that are still out there for the Cowboys. On offense, TYRON Smith, Chuma Edoga, Rico Dowdle, Sean McEwen. Only one that's important to me in that list right now of our own guys. Right now, that's what we're hoping for, our own guys. TYRON Smith, you got to find a way of bringing his ass back. You just got to. Forget Chuma Edoga. Forget Sean McEwen. Rico Dowdle, I guess, is an emergency. That's the offensive side. What about defensively? Who should we re-sign? Well, there's some guys already gone. Dorrance Armstrong is gone, and Dante Fowler's gone. You got Noah Igbegangani out there. Forget him. Neville Gallimore, I say you can let him go. He's not helping our interior run stop. Jaron Curse is going to be gone this year. He's not coming back. Jordan Lewis might be going to Washington. Jonathan Hankins, he may be back. I hope. We'll have to see. But the guy we got to sign on defense, Stephon Gilmore. If we're not going to sign any other cornerbacks, we're not going to draft one in the first, second, or third round, then we better find that corner, because right now we got no one. We got Nashawn Wright. And that's wrong if he's our starter on the outside. So Gilmore, another option still out there floating around. I would say focus on him. And hey, listen, Jonathan Hankins, if he's going to be signed, it'll be in like a month. Just saying, in a couple of weeks he'll be signed. Gilmore's won't be there in a month. He won't be there in a couple of weeks. So Gilmore is my guy I'm watching here. And listen, in special teams, Trent Sieg is off the list. Thank goodness we got him. But we could have done that in a month from now. CJ Goodwin's on this list, and I think he'll be back in Dallas for his usual, minimal cost as special teams or teams player. But hey, some of these special teams guys are getting big money, so we'll see if he gets a deal somewhere else. But that's the guys we got left. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys left out of the 16 or whatever we had, 15 guys. We have 11 guys left, And I look at Tyron Smith, Stephon Gilmore, as the top two guys on offense and defense. Hankins, you could pick him up. Rico Dowdle, you could pick him up. CJ Goodwin, you could pick him up. But let's at least get those couple of guys. Can the Cowboys help me there? Are you going to keep fucking me, Dallas? You're going to keep fucking me, aren't you? Very frustrating as a Cowboy fan to deal with this. I hope Dwayne Broussard listened to this on the replay. And I'm going to hit the chat now as we wrap this bitch up. And maybe I don't think I'm going to go after dark tonight. I had a rough one today. You guys really knocked the shit out of me there. But if I don't do after dark tonight, it may be the next couple of nights I go, one of these nights. But I'll be on one of these streams out in the world. Maybe talking, chilling, hanging, and, puffing. Much love to those that dropped the love from above tonight, specifically Jason Renfro, taking over that stream boss, Calvin Richard, and Clark motherfucking Kent. Appreciate you guys on all the fronts. Of course, much love to Jason Renfro as our stream boss. 95 points, almost fully loaded. But then the brand man, Jeremy Bramlett, has taken over the gifting board. He's currently the gifting king, but Jason Renfro's the gifting leader. He's on there trying to go for that. And you look at the Cash App side of things. Well, without question, you know who's running the board for 5 straight weeks. It's the king of the Cash App, McLovin. Appreciate you, brother. And he currently is in a tie in the Cash App side with Marissa Sparkle for this week. Hell yeah. So that's a battle brewing. Usually it's settled in the after dark hours. McLovin and Marissa Sparkle. We'll see who wins that out for that crown. Will McLovin go for that 6 and beyond? They're in the lead right now. And, of course, the sponsor of the week, the great Jeremy Bramlett, the Bram Man, part of the fam here at MCF, so appreciate him. He's an OG. He took it over last week, almost took over everything. He was one away from taking over the entire week. He is our gifting champion, Bramlett, but Jason Renfro's trying to come for that. And if you look at the overall board, McLovin and Marissa Sparkle's trying to come for the sponsor week and Cash App because they're also tied for the overall lead as we speak. And that wraps up that side of things here on the My Cowboys Family side. Let me do some combo stuff here like the wife always does when it comes to, shout-outs and comments. Real shit here, of course. Go Cowboys. Pioneer, yeah. Deep snap for $1 million a year. I hear you, Pioneer. That's the minimum. This guy is great, though. Trent Sieg is great, but you can sign him next month. Let me see. Let me go to the top here as I shout you guys out from the back. Freedom First was first. Darren's the CEO. Davis here in the house. Asmodeus. Seabass. Texas Cat. L Cool. Asmodeus Pioneer. Matt Batten. Self-sabotage the Seabass. Over everything levels here. You know it. Matt Batten. Much love to you, sir. I appreciate your comments after the streams as well. I truly appreciate your interaction and your interest in listening to us on the nightly. You can be anywhere you want. You're here chilling with us. Bad Intentions here with us. Luis Ortiz, Dak, delusional fans with more excuses. He's here in the house making excuses to why he hates Dak. Of course, the wife, MCW here. Muck Lovin in the house. He said, so the point is, the Dolphins would be better than the Cowboys. Yeah, he's a definite Dolphin fan. But the Cowboys are still better. You know that. Tyrone Church said, I heard Chase Young is lazy. Man, he's still out there looking for a job, right? So we'll see. Xavier Hidalgo are here. Are we going to sign anyone tomorrow? Officially, Trent Sieg will be signed. Outside of that, I do not know. Virginia Jackson said, I don't want Dak to go anywhere. And right now, he is not. Right now, he's going to be here for at least one more year. I expect an extension, but no matter what, I expect a restructure. So we get $25 million on the cap this year. Cracking me up, McLovin. Hidalgo in the house. Seabass. Queenie said, tsunami incoming. She said, let's go Biden, she said. Wow, Queenie, I didn't know you changed up like that. Darren's the CEO. Davis, the Cowboy fans need to make T-shirts and banners saying, leave, Jerry, leave. We've made shirts and stuff like that about that in the past. I think the wife is the artiste. She'll have to maybe break out some new shirts for this season upcoming. We'll see. Darren's good idea there. Let me see. I'm actually going to do this. Let me try this. Oh, shit. Damn it. Sorry, guys. Give me a minute. There we go. All right. So Who else? CPG, of course, in the house. Yep, he's a Carolina fan, and even he knows Jerry doing it again. Same old shit. Matt Batten said A.J. Dillon would be a great fit for us, but I doubt we get him. And the only thing that leads us to get a chance to get him is the Cowboys are looking at a $4 million Zach Moss. A.J. Dillon's probably $3.5 to $3 million or less. So Cowboys will be looking at that at least. Seabass says, hope somebody throws a cup of water on Jones' boot during a regular season game this season. I wish they would. They did a Tepper. Right, with the Panthers. Yep, there you go. See, Tepper did his reverse. Tepper threw it at the fans. That's right, CPG. And Spiner said, as long as the Jerry has the most valuable franchise, why change? Shaking my head, said Lost in Translation. Shit, I agree. We better sign some Xavier, but don't expect it. Eastside said, never heard of that guy from the Texans. Well, you lost that one. That one player. Jason Rem said, looking like Jonathan Brooks' draft for the Cowboys. I remember that being said earlier. Cowboys really like him. Really like him. Drums and Cowboys says, top of the fact the Cowboys pay chicken feed, there's uncertainty in our coaching staff. No one wants to come here. 8-9, he's saying. I don't like that. I do not like that. But it could be true, unfortunately. Lost in translation, Matt Batten. Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett. So I like A.J. Dillon, a.k.a. his nickname is Quadzilla. Let's bring him into town. Get some power going in there. Already a lame duck organization. I cannot dispute that. Jesus Christ. Queenie, you hit a deer on live? It didn't die? Did you... So it was alive with his guts hanging out, Queenie? You probably ate it while it was still alive, didn't you? Damn. Yeah, the Commanders are signing everyone, right, CPG? You guys signing some guys too, though. Xavier, Hidalgo in the house, Matt Batten, Choice Roberts, Steven Jerry making an extremely hard route for this team. It almost like they want to sabotage this team, right? Sabotage Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. That's what it feels like. Just saying. I know. We get into playoffs, but we shit the bed every time. 40%. Bad intentions. I don't think it's going to be 40% of the payroll with Micah and Dak because it's more about when the cap hit. So it will be about maybe 8% or 10% of the cap hit per year for about 3 or 4 years until we got to pay the piper, and then we got to pay a big hit, prorated out during the next 5 years or 10 years or something. Jason Renfro, those shots. I might take a couple of shots tonight on a channel somewhere, but I ain't going crazy. Last night it was just way too fucking much. A barrage in 4 hours. I was just blasted, man. I was blasted last night. Queenie, Jason, Matt Batten. Got a lot of people here. Thomas Garrett. Jonathan Owens. Yeah, he's married to Simone Biles. That's right. Now I know that name. Burn Bar. Much love with the drops there. To remind everybody how to drop the love here. Matt Batten. Bad intentions. Who else was in here writing it up at the end? Seabass. Yep. Writing checks. Jerry writing checks. His ass can't cash. His mouth can't cash. East side here. Yeah, Trey Lance is getting like $5 million with the Cowboys. Solidifies him as our fucking... Should be our backup, but he's not there yet. Question mark. We'll see. We'll see. Got Mark Clark motherfucking Kent in the house. Intercepted. Productions. Yellow. Hello. Jason Renfro. Seabass. Murica. Clark Kent. You don't win by making a dream team of guys. Watch the Eagles lose again this year. And I agree with that. MB here. What is up? I wish we could trade Jerry instead of any other moves. That would be the best move this team would make is trading Jerry and Steven Jones out of this fucking organization. Won't happen. Can't happen, unfortunately. I really wish it would. Man, shut up is in the house. He said, if we are Cowboy fans, we know Jerry wasn't going to sign guys early. As bad as it looks, it's not too bad. The guys we let go weren't worth the money. When you look at the money, I agree. But there's some guys, Willie Gay, a couple running backs that I mentioned that are good, under $4 million or under. Willie Gay was basically $4 million with $1 million in incentives on a starting linebacker, and the Cowboys passed on both those guys. That's the issue with also showing only we got $1 million to spend when we really have $50 million. The Cowboys don't want to show that. That's my issue there. Man, shut up. That's my issue. The way the Cowboys are handling this shit, it's bad. It's really bad. Hankins now, said Matt Batten. He said Gilmore and Hankins now. I agree, and I will throw in there Tyron Smith as well. I hope the Joneses are right, but they are definitely feeling like they're dumb, right, Matt? Clark Kent here, MB. Asmodeus, Deshaun Wright, that's wrong. Yeah, that's wrong if he's out there, it's wrong. Jason Renfro says, I'm going to let the clown show pay me $1 million to play running back. They might do that. The league minimum. Real shit in the house saying, hit that thumbs up right now. Clark Kent saying facts. Houston's not going to win. Steelers got Russell Wilson. They got Patrick Queen. They made some good moves. I don't know if they're going to win much, but they made some moves. Real shit's proud of the Cowboys not doing shit. We got a long snapper. He's happy about that. It's almost like a pseudo rebuild right now, in my opinion. All right, we got LT in the house. Much love, Mr. Eagles in the house. He's again. You guys are making moves, movers and shakers. We are comatose. The Cowboys. Much love to LT and the whole family. His whole family. Appreciate you, brother. Even if you are an Eagle fan, we love you here at MCF. There are not many running backs left. That's true. A.J. Dillon and the other guy. What was his name from the Ravens? That's the only two guys really left. So in my opinion, at running back, Brandon James said Giants add former Bills receiver Isaiah McKenzie. There's a little inside one I didn't get. Yeah, Queenie gets cooked all the time by me. It's a everyday occurrence. You know what I mean? We'll have to pick that up after dark. Real shit said, "Go Cowboys." I knew he was with a Cowboy family. He thought the Steelers started in 1960. He just loves the Cowboys too much. You know what I mean? Seabass in the house. Going to leak tomorrow night. They probably will punch back and interview Jerry's new daughter. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that she's got to keep her mouth shut because she talks. The judge might say, "You know what? You got nothing now." So she ain't going to be on nobody's podcast again. Don't get your hopes on that, Seabass. I don't think it's ever going to happen until she gets the ruling from the courts. Then you may see it happen, but not before then. He's still taking a paternity test, so they're in the middle of that. It ain't happening yet. Matt Batten said this offseason is bad. Jones should be ashamed of themselves. I agree. I got you there, Brandon J. Everybody in the house, thank you. Hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, X, and all social media at MyCowboysFamily. Of course, Discord. You got that. Look at all in the description. You got all the information you need. Find out where we're at, how to drop the love, and how to contact us and all that good stuff. So we'll see what happens tomorrow here at MCF. And officially day one of free agency starts at 4 p.m. tomorrow. All these deals will just avalanche through. I'm not going over these again. I'll go over any of the new ones. The old ones, unless there's changes, especially for our Cowboys, then I'll go over those. Outside of that, you're up to date on Cowboys and NFL, moves in free agency here at My Cowboys Family. Put in the extra overtime for the NFL side of things. Clark Kent said Jerry is setting up Dak with that lazy, accusing him of assault. Jerry's dirty. Kind of like the Deshaun Watkins thing, right? In Houston. Seabass said, that's what I mean, MCF. Wait until Jerry pees. Yeah, exactly. Wait till after everything, that gavel, bum, 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 case over. Then we'll see. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you. And appreciate everybody who's here, loving the show, hitting that like and enjoying it. So, guys, as always, here we shout everybody out. We did all the shout outs on the boards. We back tomorrow. We should be back tomorrow for another one, kicking off the actual official first day of the league year, the new league year, and the official signings will start to trickle through. We'll see if the Cowboys do anything new. Don't hold your breath. I gave you some names earlier. Hope for that and some of our own. That's it. On that note, guys, as the wife always says, why do we do this here on MCF every single day and night? It's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. On this channel, we always rep that star over everything. And of course, over 6.5 years, almost 7 years on YouTube, on this channel. July 1st, 7 years. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, say it with us, say it loud, and say it proud. Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all in the chat for dropping your knowledge all night long. All night. And of course, dropping the love from above. Can't do this on the nightly without your love and support. On that note, it is time to clock out, drop out, and reload for the new league year tomorrow. Another show here on My Cowboys Family. Before we can officially drop out for the night, as the wife always says, we got to drop the beat. Oh yeah. Thank you all once again for joining us for another one here. All the news, the info, the updates on the moves in free agency, that frenzy that's not including us. And of course, our own Dallas Cowboy news, info, and updates here. Wrapped up for you guys once again at the end of the night. Another Cowboys chat. Hell yeah. And yes, Jerry partying on the boat, probably. Steven, not on the boat, but not on the phones doing due diligence. We got our long snapper, check mark, number 44, back on the team, Trent Zieg. Lost Dante Fowler to Washington. Question mark on Tyron Smith, still not signed anywhere. Will he come back to Dallas? Only time will tell. But again, with this front office, never ever hold your breath. But here in MCF, it's another different story. It's always about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Over Jerry Jones, over the coaches, over the players, over everyone. That star over everything. Never forget the number one thing here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to all of you in the house rocking with us. Can I do that? You could be anywhere. You're here with us, chilling, hitting that like, hitting that subscribe button, growing the channel, hitting that notification bell to all videos so you know when we're going live. If you're watching the replay, do all those things and leave a comment down below. Check out the description. All the information is there. Of course, you got social media all over, Twitter, X, at MyCowboysFamily. You got the Discord, on and on and on. Much love to all. Have a great, safe rest of your night. We'll see you back here tomorrow officially for a new NFL League year. And as always, never ever forget, Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.